Saturday in Week 10 in the ACC, and we start in Charlottesville. Drake May, not just the fastest rising star in the ACC, maybe as a quarterback nationally, leads the Tar Heels in a rivalry game against one of the league's best tacklers, senior linebacker Nick Jackson of the Wahoos, in the South's oldest rivalry. ACC Network football presented by Subway. We welcome you to the grounds at the University of Virginia. North Carolina debuted in the CFP rankings at 17 on Tuesday night. And for the 127th time, they line up against the Virginia Cavaliers. Great to be with Roddy Jones. Taylor Davis in just a moment. Carolina is here in firm control of the Coastal. It's all in front of them, Roddy. And speaking of in front, that's where Drake May's going here as of late, too.
Sure is. Carolina had a lot of wants and needs coming into the year, and quarterback chief among them. But it was almost like it was God's plan for Drake to emerge as the starter. And look, Wes, it was a quarterback competition. He started from the bottom, but from the time he took the field against FAMU, he started making headlines to the point where he's been so successful that there's a lot of Heisman hype now. And last week was proof of that. A performance that was truly unforgettable against Pitt. One of his best of the season, absolutely dotting it to Antoine Green in the corner of the end zone. You can see the talent out of the pocket, getting it over a falling defender into the end zone just with a flick of the wrist. Back shoulder, he's got it all. The emergence of these receivers has been impressive, but his ability to run has really made defensive coordinators laugh now, cry later. Wes.
Well, and here's the other thing, too. We're looking for comparisons. We're trying to battle stats. We got a lot going on in November involving Drake May.
Well, two guys on this list are considered the Heisman Trophy finalists, and one guy is a relative unknown from Carolina. You can filter by whatever you want. Drake May's quarterback stats stack up with anybody in the country, including these two. He should absolutely be in the Heisman conversation.
Well, and how has Drake May gotten there, Taylor? In part because he's got guys to play pitch and catch with. We knew about Josh Downs, but now all of a sudden, here's Antoine Green.
Absolutely. Those Drake references, Roddy, were some of your best work. I have to say that. But along with that effective quarterback comes some talented targets, and one that's emerged as of late in Antoine Green. He's coming off a career day against Pitt last week, 10 catches for 180 yards and 2 touchdowns. I talked with him this week, and he said, I knew I could be a deep threat because of my size and speed, but this offense is showing my versatility, whether underneath or yards after catch. This coaching staff raves about his impact, so much so that Virginia coaches say this is a guy we have to account for every play.
Antoine Green and the Tar Heels will kick it to Virginia. Carolina won the toss and elected to defer, so the homestanding Cavaliers, Roddy, will get the ball first. And a developing story in the last hour or so here in Charlottesville has been who's not available for Brennan Armstrong today on the perimeter.
Well, not only his top 3 receivers, his top 3 targets not available for the Virginia Cavaliers. Lavelle Davis, Dontavian Wicks, and Keaton Thompson all out today.
D-Meek Starling is deep for Virginia. He's 5th in the ACC at 21.5. And you get a look at Noah Burnett, who will kick it away for North Carolina. And away we go with the 127th meeting of the Cavaliers and Tar Heels. And this is Starling off the goal line. And he will work to the left side, and Starling turns the corner at the 30 and finally is angled out of bounds. Burnett, the kicker, was leading the charge for the Tar Heels, and there's a nice play in special teams to get Virginia going. They spotted at the 34, not quite the 38-yarder he had earlier in the year against Duke. And here is Brennan Armstrong, the senior from Shelby, Ohio, who's had some struggles this year in the first year of Tony Elliott's administration.
Yeah, he has. The big thing today is not trying to do too much with a lot of his top receivers out.
First down throw, and he will trigger to the far side. That's the tight end, Sackett Wood. His 6th catch of the year. He had 1 last week in the narrow 4 overtime loss to Miami. Roddy, with the Wicks, Davis, and Thompson absences, in terms of the throw game, boy, the tight ends really play a bigger role, I think, today.
Yeah, they absolutely do. Running backs, too.
Yep. Here's Armstrong looking for another quick throw, and he'll dial it right in the middle of the field. And the catch is made, and that is Sean Wilson, who hauled it in wearing 86 for Virginia. You see the guys that are out. Wicks, of course. Keaton Thompson, their leading receiver, with 53 catches, third in catches per game at better than 6.5. Mike Hollins is coming to the ball game. Fresh set of downs for Virginia. Here's Armstrong, going to keep it, and he'll squeeze about 4 yards on the play before Cedric Gray, the Tar Heel linebacker who leads Carolina in stops, makes the play.
And Wes, you mentioned the receivers that are out. You look at Dontavian Wicks and Keaton Thompson. Those guys are #1 and #2 in the ACC in targets on the season as well. Those are the guys that Brennan Armstrong has gone to for a couple years. So it'll be interesting to see how this offense adjusts. We've already seen some trickery. Jay Woolfolk lined up in the backfield a couple of plays ago.
Yeah. And here is Armstrong going to keep it again and look for a block to the left side. He'll have the first down. Carolina, Gio Biggers was kind of caught in no man's land, and Armstrong gains 8 yards and a Virginia first down, and so far so good for a Cavalier offense that's kind of been struggling here.
Somebody's going to need to check on Tony Grimes after that. It was a mean crossover.
Yep.
Grimes, when your knee hits the floor, I mean, that's when the basketball folks, that's when they stop and point and yell.
Xavier Brown checks into the ball game now alongside Armstrong in the gun. Armstrong wants to take a deep shot, and a lot of stop and go with Demeek Starling, defended by Grimes. Over across the way, Tony Grimes, of course, one of several Tar Heels from the Commonwealth of Virginia. He's from the 757, played at Princess Anne down in Virginia Beach. There is a long history of guys in recruiting, Roddy, that it comes down to going to either one or the other. From not only North Carolina, and we'll talk the history of those guys that came to Virginia, along with the Virginia guys that end up in Chapel Hill. Adds real flavor to this rivalry. Here's a throw and a catch, and that's Sackett Wood's second catch of the drive, and Wood drives it toward the Carolina 20 to the 23, and another Virginia first down on a 20-yard throw by the lefty.
And it's been a really nice start for Virginia. Brennan Armstrong creating a little bit of space with his feet. He's able to find Sackett Wood coming across the middle of that over route. It's been a nice job by Des Kitchings of scheming up some stuff, that's worked despite his top receivers being out.
Tony Elliott's got the backup quarterback, Jay Woolfolk, back in the game. He's slot left, and that's Woolfolk in motion. Armstrong going to hand to Brown, firing through the Carolina front inside the 20, and a red zone chance now for Virginia on the stop by Gray.
This Carolina defense has taken a lot of heat, obviously, over the course of the year. And even though they've improved significantly, first halves have not been as good for them as the second halves have been. Virginia going to have to be much better in the red zone today.
Armstrong was second down. He's got Hollins with him in the backfield. And Hollins will try and get to the left side and will be inside the 10, down inside the 5. It's first and goal, Virginia. Chris Collins, one of the guys going to be asked to help play that jack spot after the season-ending injury to Noah Taylor made the play.
But a nice job by Logan Taylor and Grant Mish out there on the edge, getting the blocks to open up the hole for Mac Hollins. And sometimes when you see stars for the other team not playing, there can be a little bit of a sense of relief on the defense. You can let your guard down a little bit, and Virginia has taken advantage of it. Both the starter and the backup quarterback lined up in the backfield right now.
Yep, 5 is Armstrong, Woolfolk 16. And that's Wilson in motion, coming here to the right. Here's Armstrong, left side, touchdown, Virginia. I don't know that Tony Elliott could have scripted it any better, Roddy.
Certainly could. And just a little quarterback counter. You get a couple of pullers. Derek Devine, the guard, number 67, has the crucial block at the point of attack. Get the backside tight end looking for somebody to block. And Brennan Armstrong, how about the start for this Virginia team? 3 best receivers out. All they do is come down. Tight ends, running backs, Brennan Armstrong right down the field for a touchdown.
4-yard run, 9 plays, 65 yards in 4 minutes. Point after is good by Betridge. And Armstrong and the Cavaliers in the South's oldest rivalry draw first blood here. 7-0. Tar Heels touch it next.
ACC Network Football is presented by Subway. Try the all-new Subway Series menu. Your pick of 12 irresistible subs.
Well, Brennan Armstrong has just moved into 4th in Virginia history with his 19th rushing score, Roddy, capping a 9-play drive. The Cavaliers the early lead on number 17 North Carolina. George Petway will let that hit. Tar Heels will start from there. 25, and here comes Drake May now playing from behind in his first series.
That's not going to bother him at all. I mean, this offense has been so explosive throughout the season, and a lot of it has been because of the development of May. I thought last week he showed a lot of toughness. I mean, Pitt is a team that prides itself on physicality, and they got after Drake May a little bit from a physical standpoint, but his ability to respond, just not be phased. We talked about the receivers. Playing from behind is nothing new for this group.
Morales and 3 receivers. Elijah Green draws the start as the running back today. And Green will get the first carry, and he's got 9, almost 10, before Nick Jackson makes the stop. There is some thought today among the Carolina coaching staff about the emergence of Elijah Green at that running back spot.
It certainly is.
Here's the second down carry for Green, and the Cavaliers rally again. Jackson led the charge. Falmouy, the defensive tackle, also in there on the stop for the Wahoos.
This Virginia defense is much improved. A lot of it the aggressive nature. They're going to slant, they're going to stunt, they're going to blitz. They're going to try and create havoc.
3rd down after the miss on 2nd and short, and here's Downs' first catch, and Josh Downs is going to have the first down to the 40 ahead of the coverage of Jonas Sanker.
They figured they were going to get man-to-man, so you just get a mesh concept. Downs comes open. Sanker actually did a pretty decent job of keeping up with him, able to tackle Downs as soon as he makes the catch.
Sanker is following Downs in the Virginia alignment. Here is May going to keep it to the right, now flip it for Morales just beyond his reach.
You know, a lot of people tell me, because I played for Paul Johnson, that the triple option is dead. Phil Longo begs to differ. That was just a triple option play. You get the zone read coming out, and instead of pitching it backwards, it's a pass forward to Kamari Morales. Morales just kind of gave up on the route a little too soon.
2nd down in the full 10. May from the pocket shoots it up the field. Here's Morales, the tight end, and a first down for Carolina to Virginia territory. James Jackson is a sophomore from Roanoke, Virginia. He makes the stop after a 15-yard throw.
It's great protection by this offensive line, and Morales, these tight ends are so good and crafty. Morales does not get credit for how good a receiving threat he is.
You'll see Copenhagen today. Bryson Nesbitt worked out before the game. Here's the throw. Downs another catch. And further down the line, and another Carolina first down. And the tempo right now, Roddy, May looks like he might be trying to find the groove here.
This is what Carolina does. It's interesting, the zone read stuff with the passes out. It's almost like a zone read RPO on the back end, or like I said, almost like a triple option play that they're putting the outside defender to the backside in conflict.
Here's May with Downs in motion. He'll fake the throw and keep, and Drake May's got a first down. 15, 10, and he will be tackled inside the 10 at the 9 by Cohen King, the safety.
You saw Brennan Armstrong make a move on a defender. Check this out by Drake May. I mean, it's a great move on Paul Akire, and then he gets out in the open field, takes a little bit of a blow, sort of an awkward slide. He kind of got caught in between. If he goes full feet first, and that's probably a penalty, but because he's kind of going sideways, it's not called. But the running ability of Drake May is probably the most underrated part of his game. Carolina in the red zone on their opening drive, just as the Cavaliers were. Here's May looking, going to spin it for the end zone, off the hands, I believe intended for Antoine Green. Copenhagen and Green were both there, Roddy, in the line. Yeah, it's a lot of traffic. I think it's actually intended for Copenhagen coming down, coming across the back of the end zone. Antoine Green probably shouldn't be there. If he's not there, I think it's Copenhagen right between the 8 and the 1. But kind of got in a little bit of trouble because Green was underneath that route. So 2nd and goal for the Tar Heels at the 7.
Well, we are off and running in Charlottesville. Downs in motion. Quick throw on the perimeter. One guy to beat. That's King. Downs went down, but no whistle, so Josh will be measured toward the 3, and it'll be 3rd down for Carolina.
Josh Downs knows. I mean, this play is designed. You run this in practice over and over, and it's going to be one-on-one, and they are betting on him to win, and the turf just kind of gets the better of him. Actually makes a decent move on Cohen King, but because of the humidity today, it rained a little bit earlier. Slips a little bit, and it's going to create a 3rd down.
10th play of the drive for Carolina at the Virginia 6. Tight end right, bunch look left. We're going to have a flag procedure on Carolina. Looked like the wide receivers started ahead of the snap.
Ball start. Entire line. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
During a week where David Hale wrote one of the best oral histories that we've ever heard of Ron Cherry's giving him the business, I am here for Marcus Woods, telling it like it is. The entire line was offsides, which means it was on the center. You got to snap the ball.
But nobody gave anybody the business.
No, but if that happens, I expect Marcus Woods to tell us.
Here's the snap, 3rd and goal again for May. Under pressure from Jackson, and he'll be sacked. Nick Jackson delivers the goods, and Carolina's got to kick a field goal.
Well, it's great coverage on the back end because Carolina actually does a pretty decent job of picking this up. Watch Elijah Green in the backfield, 21. He's going to step right up in the hole with a really nice block on James Jackson. And as Drake May tries to escape to find someone, Nick Jackson does a good job of coming around and tracking down Drake May. Big stop by this Virginia defense down inside the 10-yard line.
Burnett is 7th of 9. This is a 35-yard try for Noah Burnett off the left hash. And the kick is good, but Virginia still leads. Carolina gets a red zone chance, Roddy. Only a field goal for Mac Brown's team. Trails the Cavaliers by 4 in Charlottesville. Roddy, you talked about it at the top today. One of the most improved units in the ACC is what Virginia has done on defense in Tony Elliott's first year behind John Brzezinski's leadership.
There was certainly a change in scheme and mentality, but there was a change in confidence under John Brzezinski. I broke it down to these guys in very simple ways, and I think he has built this crew to the point where it's almost the exact opposite of last year. Last year, the offense was saying, well, if only the defense could put up some stops, what could we be? This year, the defense has been great, and the offense has lagged a little bit behind.
Well, and I tell you what, the visit yesterday with Tony Elliott, who will turn 43 on the final day of the regular season, was revealing about the long term here, Roddy. The little steps you have to make in year one that can be uncomfortable when you come in trying to build for long-term success. And Virginia going to scrimmage from his 25, and here comes Brennan Armstrong back for his second series, Taylor.
Yeah, guys, I actually had the chance to speak with Brennan this week, and he was really candid with me about this season, how difficult it's been. He said, look, this wasn't at all what we anticipated heading into the year, but I've learned patience and adaptability. But Coach Elliott told us he has challenged him in terms of leadership. He said, this guy has a competitive fire, and I need him to impart that in his teammates. And guys, given the pieces they're missing today, they need him to be that guy.
Exactly what I was getting ready to add too, Taylor. You're right. With the 3 top targets out, Roddy, Armstrong's got to bring everybody with him. There's an incomplete pass thrown on the perimeter for Starling. Second down coming up.
He has to bring everybody with him, but you have to do it in a way where you're not asking yourself to do everything. You've got to trust your receivers. And obviously he was a little off on that pass, but stuff like that, making it easy on guys so that they can make plays, that's how he needs to do it. He doesn't need to feel like he needs to play outside of the system. 2nd and 10.
Hollins fires to the left side, and it looked like Kevin Hester was over there, the first Tar Heel to meet Hollins after a 5-yard gain.
And so far, we've seen a decent amount of pistol from this Virginia team and some wide zone stuff. If you're familiar with what Des Kitchings and Tony Elliott have done in the past, wide zone is a staple of their offenses. And they thought because of the injuries up front to Carolina, that they would have some opportunities to have some success with the wide zone play.
They changed the front. Here's Armstrong on 3rd down. Hit as he throws, but it's caught by Wilson. Terrific catch by the 6'4" freshman from Brooklyn, New York, who's found his way into the rotation. That's a 15-yard 3rd down conversion.
Well, Carolina wasn't set before the play, though. I mean, they're all running around trying to figure out what's going on. Cedric Gray actually gets pressure, but because of the confusion pre-snap, Virginia converts.
Here's another play fake. Armstrong wants to fire it middle of the field again, and Wilson the catch. Outside Carolina's 40, Cameron Kelly the stop.
There's a little bit of an attitude, maybe a naivete on this Virginia offense right now, especially from that receiver position. The energy is there.
And we're going to get a procedure penalty on Virginia. Armstrong was trying to get the Cavaliers lined up.
Start. Offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
That's on the left tackle, Logan Taylor. This offensive line has been the subject of a lot of evaluation and mixing and matching, Roddy, as this season has unfolded. It was even at the top of the priority chart when we were here for the spring game back in April.
Yeah, I mean, the losses on this offensive line were massive. A lot of new bodies up there, a lot of inexperience. You had 4 guys, 2 graduate, and then 4 guys transfer out who are all starters at their current either Power 5 or high-level Group of 5 schools.
Here's Armstrong, going to toss to Brown. He'll cut through and, boy, lower the boom on Kelly as he cracked the Tar Heel 40 to the 39. Xavier Brown out of Lexington Christian in Kentucky, highly thought of after a very decorated prep career.
Yeah, but watch the blocks on the edge. The physicality, DeAndre Boykins brings it to the blocker, and then on the back end, get a pop from the safety as well.
2nd down and 8 for the Cavaliers. Working with a 4-point edge, and Armstrong looking again. Bodies around him. Ball deflected and intercepted on the backside. Storm duck. Looked like Wentz was the intended target. Ricocheted off his hands and into the hands of Duck.
It's a frustrating turn of events for Brennan Armstrong and his Virginia offense. So much momentum, but a deflection off the receiver's hands, a little bit behind the receiver. Karam off a Carolina defender, and ends up in the arms of Storm Duck.
ACC Network football presented by Subway here in Charlottesville. Virginia the early lead on number 17 North Carolina, but Brennan Armstrong tossing the interception a moment ago to Storm Duck. And now here's Drake May, and a low throw, but a catch made by Antoine Green. Shy of the 30, and Virginia, boy, the turnover number is real. Now -7 takeaway giveaway. That's their 20th of the year. Roddy, they only had 18 all of last year.
Yeah, one of the worst teams in the country when it comes to turnover margin. And that one's kind of on a little bit of everybody. Receiver gets his hands on it, the throw a little behind, and then you have some unfortunate luck.
Elijah Green digging to the 30, keeps his legs driving toward the 32. Cohen King coming out of there, number 9, the stop for the Cavaliers.
I've been really impressed with this Virginia defense, really up the middle. I think the defensive line, good players that eat up blocks for Nick Jackson and James Jackson at defense, at linebacker. And then on the back end, Cohen King and Antonio Clary, the 2 safeties, versatile, really good tacklers on the back end.
1st and 10 for May and the Tar Heels, and Green going to get it again, and Elijah Green across the 40, 45, and toward midfield goes Elijah Green. Sanker on the stop, and Roddy, he might have been the last line for Virginia.
Yeah, and just as I complimented the safeties, Elijah Green does a great job of making Clary miss up front, and then Cohen King on the back end, and if Sanker's not able to come across and make that tackle, he's off to the races. Elijah Green, a great story of perseverance and working his way to the point where he's the starter at running back.
Downs in motion. Another 1st down snap, and Green gets back to the line of scrimmage. Clary the stop for Virginia. And there's Phil Longo, who visited with us at length yesterday about the running back room, Roddy. And now Caleb Hood done for the year. Remember, British Brooks was lost, opening week of camp?
Yep.
And now all of a sudden Carolina's kind of re-racking the depth chart with Elijah Green.
It's been running back by committee, and as much as they'd like it to be one guy, it's actually helped them with the number of injuries they've had.
2nd and 10. Here's May breaking the pocket. He'll cross midfield for 2, maybe 3. James Jackson. Nice stop. He had 9 total stops in the loss at Duke. 44 on the year coming in, now 3rd and 8.
And now a big 3rd down. This is 4-down territory for Carolina. If you can get it to 4th and 4 or less, or heck, maybe even 4th and 7 or less,
right,
I think Mac Brown is going to go for it. So you've got 2 downs to play with. You have to know that if you're a Virginia player, I'd expect him to bring some pressure to try and knock Carolina out of a position where they'd go for it.
Snap to May. Cavaliers trying to come from his left. May in the pocket, now loads, throws, and off the hands of J.J. Jones. Incomplete.
Again, watch the blitz pick up in the backfield by D.J. Jones. Comes across, gets Clary in the hole to give Drake May all kinds of time. He eventually finds Jones. It's a good throw. Hits Jones right in the face mask. Doesn't seem like he tracked that one all that well. And this Virginia defense, 2 times that they've come up with stops. That one after the interception.
Yep.
Virginia has come to play on the defensive side of the football.
Cavaliers avoid points off the turnover on the Armstrong interception. Kiernan, who is 1st in the ACC, 7th nationally in net punting, had it check up at the 1, but it bounces into the end zone with Billy Kemp in single safety position for the Cavaliers. Don't forget, coming up next, game 2 of our ACC Network triple header off to Acrisure Stadium. 2 of the best running backs in the country. Number 20 Syracuse versus Pittsburgh. You'll get Sean Tucker and Israel Abanikanda. That's ahead of ACC primetime football tonight from Carter Finley Stadium in Raleigh. Number 21 Wake Forest and number 22 NC State in the Atlantic Division.
Who are you liking the Pitt-Syracuse game?
It's hard not to like the Panthers at home, Roddy, although 2 losses at home.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think if Syracuse is going to win the game, it's going to have to be on Garrett Schrader. Pitt does as good a job as anybody in the country of not encouraging you to run the football.
Yep. Cavaliers start from the 20 after the touchback, and Mike Hollins picks up 8 on 1st down. And Cavaliers are kind of tearing a page from Notre Dame, Roddy, in their win at Chapel Hill, running the ball effectively on 1st down. And here's Hollins again, trying to create either another 1st down or 2nd and short, I think, is where it'll stand.
In the 3 wins Virginia has this year, Richmond, Old Dominion, Georgia Tech, they average 215 yards on the ground. And their 5 losses, only 82 yards per game on the ground. So, I mean, if they're going to win, they got to run the football today.
Ronnie Walker, the Indiana transfer from Hopewell, Virginia's come in. And Armstrong trying to sneak for it, does, and breaks free for more than the yard. He got about 4 on the play to the 34 and a 1st down.
And Brennan Armstrong, a little bit of trash talking.
Yep.
I mean, this is a team that did not score a touchdown last weekend against Miami. And they've got a little bit of confidence here today.
1st and 10, and this is Walker. He'll spin across the top of Cameron Kelly and out for about a 7-yard gain, Roddy, maybe 7, almost 8 yards.
Ronnie Walker, who wasn't even on the depth chart, we were told to add him, just gave Cameron Kelly some of that. What's happened in the back end?
Yep, 7th carry of the year for Walker. Here's his 8th, and it's a 1st down. Out to the 49.
And they're going to tempo. I think it's tiring out this defensive line. Getting a full line change for Carolina on the defensive side of the ball.
Yep.
But the wide zone play helps mitigate some of the deficiencies on this offensive line. You're not asking your offensive linemen to hold blocks and to move guys off the ball. You use the momentum to usher them out of the way.
Good 1st half for the Cavaliers. Touchdown run by Armstrong. They avoid any points off the interception and lead Carolina by 4 after 1. For better than 130 years, Roddy, Carolina and Virginia have been playing football. Could mix and match in friendly company. Kevin Hester and the Tar Heels on the defensive side here, trying to get Virginia stopped. Cavaliers have seemingly kind of had the momentum. The interception didn't cost them, and now they've got the ball back toward midfield as we begin quarter number 2 in Charlottesville. Armstrong on a play fake, wants to dial it deep. Starling, the intended receiver, Duck was in his hip pocket. Brennan Armstrong comes up empty. There it is, 127th meeting. First played in Charlottesville, October 22nd, 1892. Richard Thomas was the captain of a 3-2-1 team. Virginia beat Carolina 30-18. And it didn't take all that long to stage the second meeting either. More on that later.
Oh, is that a little Westpedia tease?
That's very well. Nicely done in week 10. Here is Armstrong flipping short. The catch is made. This is Sackett Woods' third catch of the ball game, and a Cavalier first down.
Offense is all about creating conflict for individual defenders, and Chris Collins, who's replacing Noah Taylor, had a choice there. You take Brennan Armstrong and leave Sackett Wood, or you take Sackett Wood and let Brennan Armstrong run the ball. It's a lose-lose situation, and Brennan Armstrong executes it to perfection.
Cavaliers up over 70 yards of passing. And this is Brown fighting inside the 35, so he'll pick up almost 5 on the play. And Kevin Hester, another stop for a defensive line that's a little bit in transition today as well, Tyler.
We've talked about the pieces that Virginia is lacking on offense right now, but this UNC defense missing 2 prominent pieces up front. Roddy alluded to Noah Taylor as well as Dev Evans, who are out with season-ending injuries. 2 prominent pieces there without here today.
Yep.
Hasek went out earlier in the season. I mean, they've got depth, but you're still dealing with a lot of new faces.
Whoa, over the top. That is Cedric Gray getting Hollins to the ground at the 34.
DeAndre Boykin shot into the backfield like a missile. I'm going to throw that off.
And Gray is shaken up on the play, and that's the Tar Heel who is on the turf here. And Cedric will get back to his feet and make his way off the stadium floor here.
Carolina was trying to do a whole line change.
Yep.
DBs going in and out. You had defensive linemen going in and out. Out of the secondary comes DeAndre Boykin, and then Cedric Gray comes up favoring that shoulder a little bit. He realizes it doesn't exactly feel like it should. Wisely goes down so that you can steady yourself for this big third down play.
Yep. 7 to go for Virginia.
Got a lot of guys for Carolina creeping towards the line of scrimmage. Typically when you get those check with knees, Carolina would check out of their pressure. Let's see if they do that.
Hollins right side, and he will be turned back right around the 32-yard line. Power Eccles off the ground first for Carolina after the tackle.
And now if you're Tony Elliott, I mean, this is one of the worst fourth down offenses in the country right now. 33%, 5 of 15, but he's opting to go for it. You're in that no man's land, and you know field goals aren't going to beat Carolina.
Yeah, Beveridge's longest is 47 here against Louisville.
Maybe a pooch punt. Brennan Armstrong's backed up.
Yep, good call, Roddy. And Armstrong will kick it into the end zone. He tried to get it to check up, but instead it'll bound in, and Virginia will hold this 4-point lead. Early quarter 2, ACC Network football presented by Subway continues. Don't forget a full day of ACC football and ACC Huddle tonight at 6:30. Jordan Cornette, Eric McClain, Eddie Royal, E.J. Manuel, Coach Rick Dahl in Raleigh. And then following tonight's coverage from Carter Finley Stadium with the Pack and Deacons, the fellows are back with highlight analysis and interviews on a full day in the ACC.
Got to squeeze Eddie's head in that.
Got to re-rack the graphic on ACC
It's
Huddle.
like they did the desk. They fit 5 on the desk. They fit 5 on the desk.
All right, we'll pass that along. Here's Drake May, a keep on first down, and he will get 7, almost 8 on the play. See, Carolina took the first play, and they came to a conclusion at the 17, kicked a field goal. The second time they got to the 49 of Virginia and punted after an incomplete pass to Jones. Here's Elijah Green racing into the Virginia secondary, and a first down to the Tar Heel 41 ahead of Sanker. Boy, Green's looked pretty sharp here, Roddy.
Yeah, he has. And the thing that Virginia's done so far is they've sort of buckled down. They've been able to cover well enough where they've made the throws tough on Drake May and then have forced some negative plays. But Carolina's been able to move the ball a little bit.
Play fake to Downs. Here's May shooting it to Josh on the near side, and Jackson will get him to the turf after just a yard.
It's a thing that you have to do when Josh Downs catches the ball in open space. You've got to have multiple Navy jerseys around him so that even if he's able to get away from the first guy, you've got other guys there.
2-by-2 with a tight end and Antoine Green here to the right. May looks that way. Now going to move to his left across his body and throws complete. And that is caught, I believe, out of bounds. Oh, they did. They signaled J.J. Jones out of bounds. The throw alone, Roddy?
J.J. Jones was kind of up the field. It's a nice job putting it on the sideline, and yeah, it pushes him out of bounds. Going to get some whistles. Oh, this was going to be reviewed. It sounds like Marcus Wood saying that the ruling on the field is that it was an incomplete pass.
Right.
Off the look that we just saw, I tend to agree. I thought it was pretty cut and dry, but we'll look at some other looks at it.
Our referee goes under the hood. We stand by and wait in Charlottesville.
What a day it's going to be here on ACC Network.
HBL is a dog. I love how she plays.
It's never easy to follow the legend.
Now they have their target on their back.
This championship a bust for this team.
This year, we're going to start the season with all three of those teams playing on ACC Network. We'll see you November 7th.
Well, and college basketball tips off Monday. Full coverage, ACC PM at Smith Center from 3 to 5. Then Louisville, the number 7 Cardinal women take on Cincinnati, and a men's doubleheader with Duke welcoming the Dolphins of Jacksonville and top-ranked North Carolina, and UNC Wilmington with the Nothing But Net crew wrapping it up on ACC Network and the ESPN app.
Virginia's been great getting off the field on 3rd and longs.
Here is May. Cavaliers bringing 4. Long throw. Downs the first down grab to the Cavalier 46 ahead of Clary and also Sanker. The play we sent you to going to break, the ruling on the field was confirmed, Roddy.
Yeah, watch the left foot of J.J. Jones comes off the ground before he catches it, setting up that 3rd and long. Previously, in the first quarter, the only 3rd down that Carolina had converted was a 3rd and 2. They had a 3rd and 7 and a 3rd and 8 that they weren't able to convert. Nice conversion there.
Here's May, quick throw this time. Morales, the tight end, another catch. And Kamari Morales fighting toward the 38 of the Cavaliers. Anthony Johnson, the transfer from Louisville, grad transfer from Coconut Creek, Florida on the stop.
But Phil Longo said something interesting to us yesterday about this Virginia defense. He said that they really don't have any tendencies. So Kamari Morales sitting in the zone, you're still trying to figure out exactly what's this Virginia team going to do? What's their personality going to be on 3rd and 4th down?
Both the greens to the boundary, 3 to the left here from May. And a quick throw and a catch by Jones. And another Carolina first down at the 32. Roddy, it looks like the ball's coming out pretty quick now from Drake May.
Yeah, the last couple plays, certainly, they go empty. Again, you're trying to give some different pictures. How do you react to empty? How do you react to a tight end and to a running back or a tight end being split out wide, just so you can get some matchups.
Here's Elijah Green to the right. And a flag got thrown in.
Yeah, you're going to get an illegal cut block on Kamari Morales coming across the formation and cutting the defensive end. It's one of the points of emphasis, although I think that block came from the front, so that would make it legal. They're trying to take those cut blocks out of the game when the defender is parallel to the line of scrimmage, but when he turns and faces the blocker.
Foul, illegal block below the waist. Offense, number 88, 15-yard penalty, first down.
So watch Kamari Morales. He comes across and throws the block, and on Jack Camper. And Wes, I believe the reason that's an illegal block below the waist is because he was never attached to the box. He was never inside the tackle. If you start outside, he came across in motion from a receiver position, right, and then comes across and throws that block. If he starts in the box, then it's a legal block because it does come from the front. But a good call by the officials.
May. Here's Downs. Morales blocking in front, and a terrific play by Sanker to fight through the Morales block, Roddy, and make the play for Virginia.
The guys in this secondary, not only are they great tacklers, but physical. I mean, he just tossed a 250-pound tight end to the side to go in and make that play.
This is where we talk about John Brzezinski, the defensive coordinator for the Cavaliers, and we were discussing this during the week. Good in the middle, yes, but exemplary in the secondary.
Yeah, and it's a lot of the same pieces from a year ago.
Here's May. This is 2nd and long. Now he'll make the long throw. Morales had it broken up again, and a flag's been thrown as Sanker contested the ball. The pass interference coming on Virginia, and the partisans here at Scott Stadium not happy.
Pass interference. Defense, number 20. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
A first look, I think I agree with the partisans. Get the break on the football by Sanker. That's not pass interference. That's not, he gets there at the same time as the ball, and yes, he grabs the arm, but I don't like that one. I don't like that call.
And neither do many here.
I mean, that's a bang-bang play at worst.
Right.
So I think you leave it in the pocket. I mean, it's not like he was grabbing it as Morales was extending. It's bang-bang. I thought that was, I think that's a little bit of a fortunate call for Carolina.
Off the 31. May wants to shoot it for Antoine Green. Dropped it. Antoine Green had Fentrell Cypress dead to rights in the end zone.
They finally get a one-on-one. Cypress is an absolute burner, but Green runs by him and just isn't able to haul it in. I mean, he's been so consistent this year.
Right.
One-handed catches, spectacular back shoulders. Now, that is vastly out of character for Antoine Green.
10th play of the drive, and nobody more worked up about it than Antoine Green.
Yeah, it's just frustrating for a receiver who's been so good this year.
Yep. Gavin Blackwell's come in. He's the boundary receiver. 3 to the field, and here's May. He'll run, and Drake May will step out of bounds and I think achieve the first down right at the 20. We'll see here. Yep, they're going to move the chains, and a first down for Carolina on the 11-yard run.
Generally, this Virginia defensive line talked all week about sort of forming a teacup around Drake May, so he's not able to escape. And the worst thing you want him to do is escape up the middle going north, because that's where you can cash you on those big runs.
Tar Heels on the edge of the red zone. Here's the throw on the perimeter, and Downs rounding at the 10. It'll be 1st and goal Carolina. Cypress spins him out of bounds.
The bunch formation. And Josh Downs, one of the underrated things about his game is there's so much pace to his route running. And if I'm Carolina, Antoine Green's not in the game right now. I'd put Antoine Green back in the game, throw him a fade ball. I mean, he's been so good for you this year. Get that, show that confidence back in him.
Tar Heels have been pretty good in the red zone. Here's May on the perimeter in trouble, and he will take a dive at the 5. Akiri helped force May over to his teammates. So 2nd and goal will be the next snap. Don't forget Wake State tonight in Raleigh. Kind of sort out behind Clemson in the Atlantic, while the Tigers are at South Bend tonight. Downs and Blackwell to the right, Jones to the left, and this is Green with May. Drake will push the pocket to his right. Now comes to a stop, back to his left. This ought to get interesting. May's got running room, and he will score standing in the south end zone, Roddy.
I mean, the creativity, and to be quite honest, the audacity to reverse field like that. But watch the offensive line. I mean, he rolls out. He's going to make a guy miss in the backfield, Nick Jackson, make Chico Bennett, another defender miss as well. And then the offensive linemen are like, come on, Drake, we got you. So why not? Why not go side to side? You don't often see the quarterbacks reverse field like that, but Drake May with the excellent athletic ability.
4th rushing score of the year for May, and Carolina in front now. 13 plays, 80 yards in 5:45. He was 6 of 8 passing on the drive, but the last 5 come on the ground. Carolina in front. (10-7) Carolina in front on Drake May's 5-yard run, but nothing easy is coming the Tar Heels' way here, Roddy, in this ball game, really on both sides. Virginia deserves a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, look, this is far from over for Drake May, but it's been a little bit of it's been a little up and down for this Carolina offense. And I think, too, Virginia's offense has shortened the game a little bit as well. So, but you said 5-yard run. I think he probably ran 60 yards.
13-play drive, too. That's abnormal in Carolina scoring vernacular, by the way. No return. Cavaliers from their 20, Taylor.
Well, guys, I think that touchdown is such a good example of what Drake has done well all season, and that's keeping awareness of the rest of the field even when he escapes the pocket. I actually talked to his high school head coach, Scott Chadwick, this week, and he told me that's probably been the biggest surprise because he said, I didn't let him run that much in high school. I was scared of him getting hurt, but I also spoke with his current coaches, his parents. Everyone agrees he's got such a unique combination of physical skill set and mental awareness, and you see it in action.
Taylor, did you get an invite to Thanksgiving?
I am part of the May family at this point,
Where's Thanksgiving going on? You know, here's the throw. Armstrong trying to dial up Sackett Wood again, the tight end who's helped him a lot in this first half. Or no, that was Billy Kemp, 4, not 44. I apologize. Kemp trying to get back into the lineup, Roddy, and it's been an injury-plagued campaign for number 4.
Yeah, and he's limping around, but you joked about Taylor being a part of the May family. Mac Brown, kind of told us that the competitiveness of Drake May, a lot of that comes from the fact that he grew up with 3 older brothers, had to call a fair catch to get a chicken wing at dinner.
What a great line. There's Hollins for 2. It's going to be 3rd down and 8. And for those of you just kind of finding out, you know about Luke May, of course, who played at Carolina. Cole was a College World Series pitcher at the University of Florida. And Bo is a walk-on basketball player for Hubert Davis. And, of course, their dad, Mark May, was one of the terrific quarterbacks in the ACC and led the ACC in passing in 1986. Here's 3rd down for Virginia. Armstrong trying to keep the Cavalier offense on the field here. Now buying time, going to tuck and run, and Brennan Armstrong's got the first down. Terrific individual play by Armstrong. Eccles and Gray around the tackle for the Tar Heels.
Well, the interior of this offensive line does a really nice job of holding the point so that Brennan Armstrong can move up in the pocket. They really struggled a week ago.
Here's Hollins again, trying to find something to the right side, and Mike Hollins going to pick up about 5 on first down. Cameron Kelly the stop. Armstrong now over 10,000 yards of total offense in his Cavalier career with the run a moment ago. This guy's just been unbelievable in Charlottesville. Another throw, shoots at that time to Mish, the tight end. Big 6'5", 250-pounder from Sterling, Virginia on the grab, and a Cavalier first down. And this is exactly what Tony Elliott and Des Kitchings needed, Roddy.
Des Kitchings sort of alluded to us that they would love to put together some long possessions. Obviously take big plays whenever you can get them, but being able to run the ball is something that they were going to have to do today.
Play fake by Armstrong. Now to his left, and Brennan Armstrong to the 40-yard line, and another Virginia first down. Cedric Gray, banged up in the previous possession, has to help again.
How about Brennan Armstrong's elusiveness in the open field? Tony Elliott doing a little groundskeeping work, getting the towel off the field. He's got to be really happy with what he's seen from his quarterback. They were trying to take a shot there, but instead of putting the ball in harm's way, opts to run the ball, and his legs on this drive have been crucial.
Carolina getting into a nickel with a 4-man front here on the first down play. Armstrong, quick throw, and a sliding catch, and that's Ethan Davies, who did not play a year ago, making his first catch, sophomore from West Springfield High School here in the Commonwealth.
Got a bunch of guys out there who Target-wise, 0 or 1. Catch-wise, 0 or 1.
Yep.
And Brennan Armstrong's making it work.
Billy Kemp has come back into the lineup. He's a slot closest to the formation on the right. They're going to hand it to Ronnie Walker, who looked good earlier in this game, and he gives Virginia a first down to the Carolina 28. We go inside of 4 minutes on the Don Chapman tackle.
This Virginia O-line has been much maligned for much of the season. To be quite honest, they were bad last week against Miami. Leonard Taylor had an absolute field day. But I think the recognition that, hey, you can't be much worse than you were last week. You get a penalty. You can't be much worse than you were last week. And a little bit different approach has really helped them.
On Carolina here.
Delay of game, disconcerting signal, defense number 5, clap, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Roddy, I've heard the disconcerting signals call this week a lot.
Somehow the offensive side of the football has a monopoly now on clapping, which has been a part of the game for 150 years, so can't do that.
And a former offensive player speaking these.
I mean, clapping? Yeah, I mean, yes, the offense has decided to use that as cadence, but you can't tell defensive guys they can't clap.
Here's the handoff. This is Walker turning the corner. Ronnie Walker transferred here from Indiana. He's from Hopewell, Virginia. He had 5 carries for 32 yards a year ago. He's kind of a guy that's been looking to find his way somewhat in the Virginia run game, and here today he's given Tony Elliott's team a spark.
Yeah, he has. I want to clarify that the officials are calling the rule as it is written. I have an issue with the rule more than the adjudication of it. But Ronnie Walker has been, I mean, this game he's going to have to be big with the injuries. Paris Jones being out.
Here's Kemp in motion, ball deflected in the air, and did Chapman pick it? No, hit the ground. Carolina almost came away with a red zone turnover here.
Yeah, it's kind of a ill-advised throw by Armstrong, and almost Chapman is a couple of inches from hauling this one in. It clearly hits the ground, but
boy, Storm Duck's playing.
It's a really good break by Storm Duck.
Yep.
Really good break.
Mac Brown talking this week. Duck back to 100%. 2 years ago, a foot injury at Boston College sidetracked seemingly about a year of his career. Here is Xavier Brown, and he will crack the 15 to the 14 in the second quarter clock, as you see Logan Taylor and Chris Collins mixing it up a little bit.
Virginia, you're milking maybe not this entire play clock, but you're milking a lot of it.
Yeah, Carolina gets the ball start second half, right?
And the less time you give Carolina, obviously, the less dangerous they are.
Yep. Starling to the left, 3 to the right. Armstrong bailing to his left, shoots it in the middle of the field. That's Sackett Wood. First and goal, Virginia at the 2. Another big catch by Sackett Wood. Cavaliers are 4 of 5 on third down.
And you get penetration up the middle with Cedric Gray coming through, but the legs of Armstrong to get out and create, and Sackett Wood, who coming into this game had 5 catches on the year. I mean, he may end up with 5 catches today. He's already got 4, I believe.
Yep. And here are the Cavaliers trying to regain the lead late in this first half.
And if you're going to stop here, if you're Mac Brown, I might start to think about using a timeout.
Kemp in the orbit. They'll hand to Xavier Brown. Touchdown, Cavaliers. First career score for Xavier Brown, Roddy.
It's the legs of Xavier Brown that get them in the end zone, but the legs of Brennan Armstrong made that drive. Big third down conversion, creating on third downs to throw the football as well. And Xavier Brown gets it in the end zone. And how about the Cavaliers?
Yep.
Did not score a touchdown last week against Miami. Lost in 4 overtimes, leading the number 17 team in the country.
Extra point is good. Cavaliers in front. Tar Heels the ball and 3 timeouts when we come back to Charlottesville. Auto Owners Insurance halftime report. Jordan Cornette leads our crew in Raleigh. First half breakdown of Virginia, Carolina. Look at Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech today at Lane Stadium in Blacksburg. And a preview tonight of number 4, Clemson and Notre Dame. All that more coming up with Jordan and the fellas.
That should say Tecmo Bowl update, not Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech. It's the Tecmo Bowl, and it's going away, Wes. It breaks my heart.
I would say so, since you were one of the stars of the series.
A star, that's very generous.
Kick through the end zone by Brendan Farrell. So here's the scenario. Number 17, Carolina gets the ball to start second half, as you noted a moment ago. Mack Brown now has a quarterback with 3 timeouts, but Virginia has taken the momentum of the ball game, Roddy, almost from the jump here today.
Yeah, well, they've taken the air out of the offense by holding the ball. I mean, this is Carolina's 4th possession of the first half. They've scored on 2 of them.
Right.
A field goal and a touchdown. And so now you're in a situation where Carolina has to capitalize. You can't waste possessions. This is a big one. They get the ball, as you said, first in the second half.
Now trailing by 4. May, quick throw on the perimeter, and the catch, Kobe Paysour ahead of Fentrell Cypress. Out to the 30-yard line, the clock inside of 2 minutes, and Phil Longo through an array of signals.
This is plenty of time. And look, Carolina is as good as there is in the country in these situations, these 2-minute situations.
Snap to May on the 2nd and 5 play. Long throw, and overfires Green. And Drake May's going to be 12 of 18, Roddy, here in the first half for 89 yards.
He got greedy on that one. He had J.J. Jones dragging across. It would have been good enough for a touchdown. And instead he opts to go to Green. There was a safety over the top, a corner underneath. It was going to take a perfect pass. This is where Drake May's legs come in big. We saw what happened with Brennan Armstrong. Josh Downs lined up to Drake May's left.
Snap to May. Cavaliers bring 4. May to his right, pressure coming. Is he going to cut it loose? No, he's tackled. Akiri came from all the way on the backside of the play here to get May on the ground. Second sack for Virginia in the first half.
I'm not sure he knew that Akiri was behind him, and Tony Elliott has wisely called a timeout, I believe. But you see Akiri coming. It's good coverage on the back end. He brings it down, and now Virginia's in a situation where, hey, if you can put together a 2-minute drive with Brennan Armstrong, I mean, you are in pretty good control of this game. And that's going to be one of those, it's a young quarterback mistake on that 2nd down play. You take the drag coming across the field, you get the first down, you just continue to move the chains.
Right.
Instead of getting greedy. This is kind of the perfect game plan from Virginia to help neutralize Carolina's offense, because Carolina has not started great the past couple weeks on the offensive side of the football, but because of limited possessions, you're able to keep them off the scoreboard more.
Billy Kemp and Ethan Davies are going to wait on the punt of Ben Kiernan here. Kemp averages 5 yards on 7 returns. Kiernan trying to flip this over toward Kemp, and oh, what a skip it takes. My goodness, Roddy.
How to tiptoe the sideline?
I don't know, but I want to talk to Kiernan if he makes wedges. That was a terrific play and a fortuitous bounce for the Tar Heels.
A little Irish wedge here on the Lynx. Couple bounces inbounds, one out of bounds. That's about 20 yards of field position that they gained by Billy Kemp not fielding.
64-yard punt. It is 6 shy of Kiernan's best of the year. Okay, does it change the dynamic here for Armstrong?
I think so. If I was Tony Elliott, I mean, it's a conservative play call to start. And if you get a gain, then I think you go. Because Mack Brown's sitting on 3 timeouts.
Yep.
I would want my opportunity with the ball with that offense.
It's going to be Hollins left side. Mike Hollins tried to keep his feet, spins out toward the 20. Tony Grimes is there. Mack Brown, National Football Foundation College Football Hall of Fame coach.
This is so interesting. Mack Brown calls a timeout, thinking exactly what we were just talking about. You call a timeout, you get your offense another possession. But if Virginia does indeed get the first down, now you've saved a ton of time for them. And they've got 2 timeouts as well.
Yep.
So this is an interesting cat and mouse game, but Mack Brown doing the wise thing. You're trying to extend the half to get more possessions for that offense.
Well, so Tony Elliott's got his group huddled. Mac Brown, his team's looking at trailing at the half for the third time, Roddy, in the last 5 games.
Yeah. Trailed last week against Pitt.
Duke.
Trailed it against Duke as well. They were up at right before half against Miami. But this is an offense that the start against Pitt was a little bit slower than they would have loved. But the halftime adjustments, and honestly Drake made down the stretch, has been fantastic. The thing is, the improvement really, to me, has to come on the defensive side of the ball as much as anything, getting off the field.
That's Wood in motion here. Second down for Armstrong. Hollins will get the carry again, and a great play by Gray. And there's the second Carolina timeout. And now it is third down and, what, 2 for Virginia? Maybe 1.5.
I think the conversation on the sideline amongst this Carolina defense is going to be know where the ball is, but watch number 5.
Right.
Because his legs, particularly on third downs, have been a real killer against this Carolina defense. And you saw 2 designed, obviously, 2 designed zone runs. But if you can pull it and get out with Brennan Armstrong, that's where I think I would talk about with this Carolina defense.
Right, Roddy, there's been a lot of conversations about that on the UNC sideline. And, you know, Coach Chiswick told us today, we haven't been great against athletic quarterbacks, the last one being Duke's Riley Leonard, who put up 375 total yards. So it's definitely a point of emphasis for this defense.
Well, in Virginia, TD is 4 of 5 on third down. And we're talking about a unit that was under 32% coming in, 11th in the ACC. Here's Armstrong. He's going to hand to Hollins, and the Cavaliers will have the first down. Gio Biggers, the Tar Heel tackle, but now Mac Brown can.
And now, if you're Virginia, you're going for it. Let's go. Let's crank it up. Crank up that offense. You got 2 timeouts. You're now in a 2-minute situation. Let's get some points before half.
Armstrong going to cut it loose, far side and offline, intended for Starling. Storm duck again in coverage for Carolina.
Drops have been an issue for Virginia all season long.
But ironically, most of the guys who've had the drops are not playing.
I know. It's sort of the double-edged sword of having your best players out. But those guys are also the best at creating separation, finding space. And you can scheme up so much, but in a 2-minute situation, you need guys to win in zone and man coverage.
There's Dontavian Wicks. He's one of the guys out today with Lavelle Davis and Keaton Thompson. And here goes Armstrong. Remember, Virginia's got the 2 timeouts. Armstrong at the 30. And no Cavalier timeout with 41 seconds left.
Yeah, I kind of actually like that from Tony Elliott, because if you don't get this third down, the less time you give Carolina, the better for your defense. Armstrong,
7 carries, 48 yards, and wants to try and pick it up throwing the ball, and that got deflected on the way to Wood by Gray. So now Virginia punts with 27 seconds left. Carolina still has the 1 timeout. And a first half that's been played in the express lane all of a sudden is coming to a crawl here in the last 2.5.
There's a little bit of flirting with disaster, playing with fire there for Brennan Armstrong. He's already got 1 interception. Cedric Gray very well could have picked that one off too.
Josh Downs has averaged 12.5 yards a return, Roddy, but he's only had 4 on the year. He had a 23-yarder last Saturday night against Pitt. Snap a little offline, flagged down by the punter Sparks. And here is Downs at the 20. First guy misses, he reaches 30, 35, and dives to the 39 with 15 seconds left. So 1 timeout, 51-yard punt, and a 20-yard return for the Tar Heel wide receiver Josh Downs.
All right, Carolina doesn't have any timeouts. Or did they save 1?
They got 1.
Yes,
they got 1 left.
They've got 1 timeout currently. So what you're looking for here, you can still throw it in the middle of the field, but you're going to have to go in chunks. You get across if you get a first down in the middle of the field, you've got a choice there. You can spike it, save that timeout for the field goal, or you can use the sideline to try and save it as well, but you need chunks here.
Here's May looking left, up in the pocket, now flush to his left, And he will dive down. There's the timeout for Mac Brown with 6 seconds left. Chico Bennett, we have not called his name today. Transfer from Georgia Tech, now playing here at Virginia in his second campaign. Banged up all of last year. Tell you what, he has been a force for the Cavaliers.
And it kind of feels to me like Drake May's not seeing it all that well. And Virginia's covering it very well on the back end, but there's been some open guys underneath that May hasn't quite been able to get back to. Carolina is going to obviously have to find some answers, but this is a Virginia defense where, I mean, Longo told us we could see a bunch of different coverages. We could see a bunch of different fronts. We could see a bunch of different
right? No tells.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The tendencies, the tells, they do a really good job of self-scouting, and I think that's thrown Carolina off a little bit.
May is 12 of 18, under 100 yards in this first half.
And you still got time for 2 plays. You can throw to the middle of the field, downfield, get down. You got to get down immediately and call a timeout.
Here's May. Cavaliers only bring 3. He's going to shoot it for downs, and the tackle is made, but the clock will hit triple zeros, and the first half is in the books. Virginia, who's lost 4 of their last 5, is going to take. Are they going to wait? Hold on here. We're going to have. Are they going to double check the clock here? Marcus Woods, what do we got? We'll let you have a look at home. Downs went down with, was there 1 left?
There is. It looked like the knee hit with a second left, but.
And Mac Brown will head to the Tar Heel locker room. So Virginia, Roddy, with a 4-point lead here at the break. Carolina will get the ball to start the second half. It's going to be interesting.
Yes, it will. Drake May has been relatively quiet through the first half. Virginia done an excellent job of possessing the football, though. Time of possession heavily skewed in their way.
Let's go to Taylor with Tony Elliott.
Thanks, guys. All right, Coach, coming off the Miami game, you wanted to see competitive stamina out of your guys. They score on the first possession. What impressed you about the first half?
Just the guys had the right mindset, coming out, making the routine play. A little disappointed at myself and the way we managed that end of the half. We were trying to play for points. We got to field that ball. But other than that, the guys have been competing. We knew that North Carolina was going to make plays. We said, hey, good, they're going to make plays. We just got to go make more. And so far, the guys are finding a way to make the competitive plays.
Speaking of making plays, your defense is neutralizing a very effective offense and quarterback Drake May. How can they continue?
Just got to do their job, and then they got to dig deep and strain. We got 30 minutes. You got to play with everything you got. Leave it on the field. Don't play to the scoreboard. Competitive stamina, each and every play, compete. And if they do that, then they'll have a chance in the fourth quarter to win the game.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
The new word and phrase in Virginia football this week has been competitive stamina. He's going to like the first 30 minutes. Cavaliers lead number 17, North Carolina by 4. Let's go to Jordan Cornette in the ACC Huddle in Raleigh. We welcome you back. ACC Network Football presented by Subway. We get ready for half number 2. And Virginia leading number 17, North Carolina, 14-10. Here at the break in the South's oldest rivalry with Roddy Jones, Wes Durham, Taylor Davis in just a moment. I don't know if you're Tony Elliott, you could have scripted the first 30 minutes any better.
You certainly couldn't. The way your offense has performed, running the football, the way your defense has performed in limited possessions for Carolina has been really impressive. And if you had at halftime that Carolina was going to be well under their season average in terms of yards per play and Virginia over, congratulations to you. But that's how this rivalry goes. Now it's about what? Competitive stamina. We've heard it all week from Tony Elliott about his Virginia team. He's going to see it tested today.
And growth mindset versus fixed mindset,
yeah, exactly,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens here. Here's a look at the stats. And Roddy, I hate to say Notre Dame is kind of in the back of my mind if I'm a Carolina fan, but Virginia's got 140 yards of rushing in the first half.
Brennan Armstrong has been a big part of that. The thing that stands out to me, Carolina only 2 of 5 on third down in this game in the first half.
There'll be no return from George Petway. Down to Taylor.
Yeah, guys, I spoke with Mac Brown coming out of the locker room at halftime. He said, we're okay, but they played better. He said they ran the ball better, they protected better. We have to change the momentum. And he said the way they created it to start the game was scoring out of the jump. He said this first drive of the second half is crucial. He encouraged Drake May, saying, hey, we have been here before, guys. 3 second-half comebacks in the last 6 games. This is a situation they are familiar with. He wants to see increased energy and try and create more of a run game.
Including the last two, Roddy. Coastal wins against Duke and last Saturday night against Pitt. Here's May with Downs in motion off the Tar Heel 25 to start. And Elijah Green buckled at the line of scrimmage by Aaron Falmouy.
Phil Longo told us that they wanted to run the ball more, certainly than they did a week ago against Pitt. Pitt, by alignment, says, hey, you're not going to do it, so they were happy to throw the football. But Carolina really hasn't gotten that going consistently.
Here's May on the keeper, and Drake May going to dive to the 30. That'll leave the Tar Heels 3rd and 5. Jackson and Clary. That's James Jackson. There's Phil Longo through an array of signals. And then he hinted to us this week that he's also got a communication where he can just shout something to Drake May that also can be an alert, perhaps. So they reach into that bag on 3rd and 5. May again flush from the pocket, turns and hits Jones for the first down. J.J. Jones to the 44.5-yard line, and Carolina converts 14 yards and a first down.
Well, let's just throw out all the quarterback buzzwords. Elusiveness, the ability to navigate the pocket, arm talent, throwing off platform, all of them on this one. Drake May, I mean, that's just a play that it's a guy using his athletic ability to maybe break some quarterback rules, but a deflating 3rd down conversion.
Play fake to Green. May going to take the deep shot. Antoine Green is there and can't quite catch it with Anthony Johnson on his hip.
It's a good battle by Green and Johnson. Anthony Johnson, the type of corner, a little bit bigger at 6'2", 205. He's going to want to stop the route before it gets started. Green did a pretty good job of getting off, but the contact by Johnson early in that route just throws Green off enough where the ball from May is a little long.
So the miss on the long ball makes it 2nd and 10 for the Tar Heels at Carolina's 44. Copenhaver, the tight end, in motion. The play fake again to Green. May with time now shoots it downfield, downs the catch into Virginia territory to the 24. Cohen King in coverage for Tony Elliott's club.
Drake May just hanging in the pocket here, going from one read to another. Then he sees downs and open field. That's work with the receiver over the course of years. You can just sort of tell when the eyes of the quarterback dart to the side what he's looking at. It's a good break by Downs and a great catch.
Another quick throw, this one for Gavin Blackwell. And it's ruled incomplete. 2nd down and 10. And you see why. Left foot on the line for Blackwell, who played at the same high school.
Oh, that right foot comes down first, inbounds.
2nd down and 10, and here's Marcus Woods on the whistle, Roddy. Good by you.
Previous play is on the further review.
So we'll step aside here. 2 minutes gone in quarter 3, but check the right foot, not the left. Oh, Blackwell when we come back. So, Roddy, the ruling on the field was overturned, and this is a catch for Gavin Blackwell, his 12th of the year.
A really good job with that right foot. Tapping it. He has firm control before the left foot comes down out of bounds with the right foot inbounds. Good call by the officials cleaning that up.
2nd and short for Carolina. 2 for 2 in the red zone. Here's May scrambling again to the near side. He's got the first down, and Drake out of bounds on the downshift ahead of Nick Jackson at around the 3.5-yard line. 12-yard run for the Tar Heel quarterback.
Shows the maturity of Drake May, how he's evolved over the course of the year. I think early in the season he tries to jump over people to get in the end zone here. But ducks out of bounds. And Mac Brown and Phil Longo talked to him about that over the course of the season after the jump. I believe it was in the Miami game. Virginia Tech game where he jumps and kind of comes down awkwardly. There was a talk there saying, hey, look, you're too valuable to be getting hurt jumping over guys for a yard. Wisely ducks out of bounds. Now they got to punch in the end zone.
60 yards on 11 carries for May and the touchdown, and now timeout. The play clock was getting ready to grab Carolina.
I mean, the timeouts were crucial at the end of the first half. Now, 3 minutes into the second half, you've already burned your first one.
So, Virginia and Carolina meeting here today for the 127th time. The Tar Heels were ahead 2 touchdowns in 1996. Just had picked off another Cavalier throw, and then Antoine Harris should never buy a meal in Charlottesville again. He picks Chris Keldorf, runs it back. Rafael Garcia provides the game winner. Mac Brown's Tar Heels turned away at the door 20-17, Roddy, by the Cavaliers of George Welsh.
It's magnificent. Looking back on those old field storms, knowing that all of those people there are probably in their mid to late 40s now.
Yeah.
Show their kids, hey, look, it was on the field in 96 when we beat Carolina.
Yep.
But Mac Brown told us this game, weird things happen in this game.
Oh, yeah.
And it's hard to win on the road. All of Carolina's road games have been close this year.
Out of the timeout, 1st and goal. Elijah Green, touchdown Carolina. Green's got his 4th rushing score of the year. And Roddy, it's his 4th in the last 2.5 games.
And Taylor told you, Mac Brown, his message to his team was setting the tone for the second half, much like Virginia did in the first half. It was an excellent drive by Drake May, making some plays, and Elijah Green finishing it in the end zone.
And now Burnett to try and push the lead to 3, and does. So the Tar Heels go 75 yards in 8 plays and inside of 3 minutes. May was 3 for 4 on the drive, and Elijah Green the touchdown. About 3 minutes gone here in this 3rd quarter. How about today's Aflac trivia question, Roddy? Which 2 schools have a team in the top 20 of the CFP?
Oh, come on. Right now?
Men's basketball AP poll and women's basketball AP poll.
Carolina's got to be one of them. I'm going to say Carolina.
That would be, I'm guessing, 1, yes.
I don't know where Courtney Banghart's crew is ranked, but I'm going to take a guess that it's relevant because I know where Hubert Davis's crew is, and I know where Mac Brown's crew is.
All right.
Other than that, I don't know. I'll offer up a guess in a little bit. Maybe get some help from the truck if you guys are listening.
How about Taylor Davis? You think she might be able to weigh in on this? I mean, come on now. TD's got some resources on these things.
I've got a guess. I've got a guess for number 2.
Kick through the end zone. Virginia going to start from its 25. Okay. Before your guess.
Okay.
Let's go downstairs. Taylor, do you have any kind of guess on the answer here?
I'm going to go with Tennessee.
I was going to go Tennessee as well.
Wow. Okay. Tennessee the answer.
Wow.
Look at this crew.
See?
What a crew.
We got it all covered.
There is magic in the W crew.
Just glad TD said Tennessee, because if it was wrong, I was going to say that I didn't say Tennessee.
Thanks, Raleigh.
So here is Virginia now with Carolina back in front off its 25. And across the middle, and Billy Kemp the catch. And may get a flag for a face mask here along the way, as Kemp's taken down after a 5-yard pickup by Don Chapman, but I think he got part of the cage in the process.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 15. 15-yard penalties added to the end of the play. 1st down.
It said it was on LD Hollins, but it was on 2, Don Chapman.
Yeah. LD Hollins is not on the field. 17 and 16 are. 17 Collins, 16 DeAndre Boykins.
Numbers are hard, Wes.
Woolfolk has come in, by the way, in the backfield with Armstrong. There's Brennan to throw, and dropped. And that was set up for Sean Wilson. So 2nd and 10 at the 45 of the Cavaliers.
But Billy Kim, saw that connection with Brennan Armstrong just a second ago. He's been so banged up since this administration arrived that he really hasn't been able to get into the flow of this offense. It's been their spark plug though the last few seasons.
Sure has. Here is Hollins now, the carry, and He's going to pick up 5. It'll be third and about 4, third and 5 because Chapman made the stop coming down from safety. And so you see Mike Hollins check out and Xavier Brown comes in. Hollins has got 57 yards on 12 carries for the Cavaliers. Virginia playing without Lavelle Davis, Dontavian Wicks, Keaton Thompson, Paris Jones on the offensive side of the rock today.
Role number 1 for Carolina, keep Brennan Armstrong in the pocket.
Furnish the center, delivers it to Armstrong, who's got a passing lane and now tries to reroute. He'll be taken down shy of the first down, about a yard away from the stick at the 45 by Kamen Rucker. And Tony Elliott's going to lead the offense on the field here, I think,
you have
Roddy.
to lead the offense on the field. I think the reason that Carolina, you were able to hold them to the point total that you did, 10 points in the first half, is because your offense possessed the football. This Carolina offense had some momentum. And with the way Brennan Armstrong's been playing today and the danger that he is on the ground, I like this call by Tony Elliott going for it.
Armstrong moves under center.
Quarterback sneaked it out of a similar formation earlier.
Play clock down to 2-1. And a Virginia timeout is taken ahead of 10 minutes to go in the third. So the young man from Shelby, Ohio, 6 games of 400 yards or more passing in his Virginia career, including 554 against this Carolina team a year ago. And I thought Tony Elliott's comment yesterday was interesting when he said, you know, Brennan has to lead guys by example, but lead guys in his communication. He said, and it can't just be Brennan go make a play. But there are times where it may need to be Brennan go make a play, and Roddy, this might be one.
Well, I think they've struck a nice balance of both of those things today. They were under center before they came out. I like putting Brennan Armstrong in the shotgun.
Yep.
Whether you're going to run it or pass it, it brings zone read into it, and if you pass it, you have the ability for him to escape both ways or up the middle.
So here's Armstrong. Going to hand the ball straight ahead. That's Walker, who crashes for the first down. Ronnie Walker, the Indiana transfer from Hopewell, Virginia.
And this offensive line has continued to be impressive today. After their performance a week ago, there was a lot of criticism that came at this offensive group. In the middle, Noah Josie, Ty Furnish, Derek Devine have done a really nice job today, especially on the zone runs, and the 2 tackles have been excellent in pass protection. This offensive line early in this game, or not quite finished with this game, has been the most impressive.
Here's Armstrong off a play fake, and he will be, well, he got out of the fire of Collins, but right into Gray. And Cedric Gray will get credit for the sack of Brennan Armstrong, the Tar Heels' first of the day. Collins, the young man from Richmond, had him dead to rights, but couldn't wrap him up.
Well, it's good pursuit by Chris Collins. You get a couple of tight ends around him. He's able to get off the block by Sackett Wood into the backfield. And they do a nice job of the coverage on the back end. 3 guys around the deep over route. Everything's covered. Brennan Armstrong has nowhere to go with the football. It sets up 2nd and long.
Yep. Loss of 7 on the play. Armstrong against a 3-man Carolina rush. Now evades the pocket here to the near side and checked out of bounds near midfield into Tar Heel territory. Collins and looked like Javari Ritzie, the 2 Tar Heels that were closest to Virginia's number 5.
You don't have to treat this like 3rd and 15, because I think if you get to 4th and 5 or less, Tony Elliott's going to think about it, although they pooch punted in a similar situation earlier. So you're just looking to get 10 to 12 yards at least to at least give Tony Elliott a decision to make.
Carolina putting 5 on the front and only rush 3. Long throw, far side, Wilson the catch, and DeAndre Borkins can't get there in time. Virginia picks up all of it, Roddy, on 3rd down.
You drop 8 and you give up a 3rd and 15. Boykins does a nice job of collisioning receiver on the back end, but then doesn't get wide enough. There's nobody out there. That looks like it's Boykins' zone. And Sean Wilson They need 15, and he's able to get it.
Here's Armstrong off the fresh set of downs. He will fire for Wood. 10-5, and Sackett Wood hit the pylon. Touchdown, Virginia.
It's a good play design. You get a couple of posts. Sackett Wood slips out up the sideline. The power to stay in bounds. And I think those toes stayed off the ground as he dove towards the end zone. Either way, it's a really nice play design. I don't know. There might have been some dragging of the toe on the sideline.
Sackett Wood, 34 yards. And Virginia back in front by 3, trying to make it 4.
They're taking a long look, as well they should. Watch the toes of Sackett Wood as he goes up in the air. I think that right foot certainly hits out of bounds during that time.
But does the ball break?
Exactly. And it's important to note the replay official has access to multiple angles that they can sync up at the same time, so you can put those frame by frame. When does the ball cross versus when did the toes touch out of bounds?
Cameron Kelly got enough of him, but did he get there in time?
I mean, from what we have seen so far, without the technology to be able to sync it up, I think this is at minimum going to stand. I don't see how you can overturn it based on the angles that we have seen without the ability to sync it up with the view down the goal line and the toes out of bounds.
Indisputable video evidence.
There you go. That's what you need.
As much as it looks like Wood's toes might be in the orange,
I can dispute that.
You don't know.
Yeah.
Right. You don't. It's not convincing. Tony Elliott is all smiles, as he should be, Roddy. That's a heck of an answer by his offense, even if it's 1st and goal.
It's a great answer by his offense. You give up the sack on 1st down, creating a 2nd and long. You get a minimal gain on 2nd and long instead of a 3rd and 15, where Carolina's dropping 8 players. The poise of Brennan Armstrong, the trust in a true freshman receiver to convert that. Then the ability to get Sackett Wood in the end zone.
What a day for Sackett Wood. It stands. All right, here we go. Let's see our crew in the truck. Brett Lancaster, our director. Adam Coppinger, our producer. Putting all the technology together.
I'm still not convinced. So I think it stands, Wes.
Marcus Wood.
After further review, the runner stepped out of bounds with the ball at the half-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal, Virginia.
So the 34-yard touchdown off the boards. It would have been Wood's first ever touchdown, by the way. And it was still the longest catch of his career on an afternoon where he has emerged as a principal in this upset bid by the Cavaliers.
And still a good response by Virginia, although it could be a big call. I mean, Virginia had a tough time getting in the ball in the end zone last week against Miami.
Here's Armstrong, and this is Ronnie Walker for the touchdown. Virginia gets the score on the 10th play. Ronnie Walker punching in the 1-yard score. And again, a 3-point margin.
And again, the offensive line creating a certain, look where the Carolina defensive line is. I mean, Cedric Gray has to come in there and make a play because this Virginia offensive line moves the defensive line of Carolina, all of whom are over 300 pounds, 2 yards into the end zone. Ronnie Walker puts it in.
5 catches, 83 yards for Sackett Wood today. The point after was deflected, but nonetheless is good for Betteridge. 4-point lead for Virginia. All hands on deck today for Elliott's Wahoos against the Tar Heels. You see, Mom, I went to this football game, and I was really excited. I painted my face. I was so excited.
That's a automatic walk home.
So,
You're not getting in the car after that. No way.
I mean, painted your face and you colored your hair. You even got the Cavalier colors right. All that's going to be overlooked with the mud bowl effect. George Petway going to bring it out. 10, 15, 20. Petway, 25, and to the 28, maybe 29 for Carolina. Tar Heels, part of our marathon drive recap that ended with the Elijah Green touchdown run, Roddy, and featured some Drake May highlights.
Yeah, it was some May magic. He was able to get out of the pocket, provide some fireworks with his legs. But it was the plunge in the end zone by Elijah Green that eventually got him in. There was a little bit of momentum from this Carolina offense, and they're going to need to keep it up. I'm not sure the defense is going to be able to stop Virginia the way they've been playing, Brendan Armstrong in particular.
So here is May back to work. Cavaliers stack 5 on the line. Pressure coming. Drake will bail straight up the field. He's got 5, 10, 15, and spins at the midfield line. Right at about 20 and change for May before Cohen King makes the stop.
He's their leading rusher on this team, and you see why. He's so decisive when running with the football. And while he hangs in the pocket a little bit longer than Sam Howell did last year, he's got better protection, certainly. He's still, if he doesn't see it and he starts to get pressure and there's a lane, he is taking it right away.
Yep. Here's May again, going to run. Now James Jackson stayed home and made the play. Gain of about 3, 2nd and 7. One thing it looks like, though, Roddy, that Virginia's done defensively is they have sped up Carolina's process post-snap here. In terms of when the ball is snapped, May is quickly moving through things here.
Yeah, and I think that's part of Drake May and his, again, development. If he sees it, he's going to take it, especially on those short passes if he doesn't like it. But we haven't seen a lot of shots downfield from Carolina.
Career high 84 yards of rushing today for May. There's a throw, and it's short. Looking for Josh Downs, and May got knocked to the ground that time. Let's check with Taylor.
Yeah, guys, Mac Brown actually mentioned that to me at halftime as well, saying we're going to have to create momentum if we cannot connect on these explosives. It's been a key piece of their offense this season, but this Virginia defense has allowed the fewest explosives out of any defense that UNC has faced this season. So he was very aware heading into the second half that if we can't connect on those, which have been our bread and butter this season, we've got to create it some other way.
Play clock inside of 10, TD. 3 to the field, 2 to the boundary, including Elijah Green. May against pressure. Here's Downs on the catch. He'll turn it upfield. Inside the 35 to the 31 goes Josh Downs. Falmouy came all the way back downfield to make the tackle.
It's one of the first times we've seen Josh Downs wide. He's got 2 tight ends, We have not seen a lot of Bryson Nesbitt today, but he's split out there in the slot. He and Kamari Morales do a great job of throwing some blocks out there on the edge, and you see the speed and elusiveness of Josh Downs.
Downs is over 100 yards receiving, Roddy, for the 4th time in the last 5 games, the 7th time in his Tar Heel career. That's Nesbitt, who you mentioned a moment ago, in motion here, and Elijah Green, the play fake, and another throw to Downs for a first down to the 21 ahead of Frentrell Cypress.
Bryson Nesbitt, the 3rd highest targeted player. Josh Downs, by far the guy with the most targets on the season, has done a nice job today. 12 catches now. 11 catches.
Morales and Antoine Green here to the near side. This is Elijah Green, and he will break the 15 before Cam Butler makes the stop. The transfer from Miami of Ohio. 82 in the blue, a 2-time All-MAC pick when he played for the Red Hawks. Carolina with a red zone possession now. Clapp gets the play going. May the pump fake and sacked for a 3rd time. Ogunlowe, Roddy, Heck of a play in here right across the top of the center, Corey Gaynor.
19 right there in the middle, just pushes Corey Gaynor in the backfield. And Olusekanmi Ogoloye does a nice job of creating a 3rd and long. Antoine Green has been so quiet today.
Yep.
This is a guy that averages 24.5 yards per catch. He's singled up to the bottom.
Here's May, gonna take the shot for Downs. Caught it. Touchdown Carolina and Josh Downs. Some kind of throw catch here, Roddy.
This is one of the routes that has been so dangerous since Josh Downs arrived. It's a slot fade on Jonas Sanker. Just runs right by that nickel defender. And then the throw, it's right there on the sideline. And I think Josh Downs' ability to go up and catch the ball, contested catches, going plucking the ball out of the air, is very underrated for him.
8 plays, 71 yards. 3:36. The point is good. The lead back to 3 for Carolina.
You know, Wes, we've kind of seen in the second half how good Drake May is. And to me, he reminds me a lot of what Joe Burrow was at LSU. The accuracy at all levels, particularly deep, is something that we saw from number 9 throughout that magical season in 2019. He had some good receivers on the back end, like Drake May does too. But the ability to evade pressure, stay calm, use his legs, that's something that we still see from Joe Burrow. This one in the national championship game, obviously a wide open player in Thad Moss, but somebody bearing down on him, making plays. And then over and over and over today, the ability to create with his feet. It's the modern quarterback. Think of the greats now. It's Burrow, it's Mahomes, it's Allen, it's Herbert. All of them can do exactly what Drake May can do with his legs as well. When you look at stature, I actually think Drake May is probably a better athlete than Joe Burrow. But when you look at stature, arm strength, ability, he reminds me a lot of that 2020 #1 overall pick.
Yep. And that time he hit Josh Downs on the touchdown. His 8th touchdown catch of the year, 19th of his career in 30 games, Roddy, which has him 5th all-time in Carolina. And the kick by Burnett's going to go out of bounds. So Virginia will scrimmage from its 35. So the Cavaliers catch a break there. And Drake May coming into today, tied for 1st in FBS with touchdown passes, 4th in yardage, 5th in YPA, which is a critical stat I don't think gets nearly enough play in the college game, Roddy.
Yippa.
20+ yard completions and the QB rating of 4th in the country among FBS quarterbacks. And he's just thrown his first touchdown pass of the day. And Carolina back in front by 3, but the onus on the Tar Heel defense with Hollins running into the second level and 8, almost 9 yards on 1st down.
It's a Virginia offense that scored only 3 touchdowns in the last 11 quarters and 4 overtimes.
Right.
Wes, they've scored 3 touchdowns today.
Mike Hollins has been a big part of it, and he will pick up the 1st down to the 48. Kamen Rucker makes the tackle. Carolina has been gashed by Virginia's run game today, and that's become an issue as we move here in the 3rd.
I think the thing that Virginia has done well is in the run game. Number 1, Brennan Armstrong has run well, but number 2, in their zone scheme, they have made these big, heavy defensive linemen for Carolina move laterally, which has been apparently fairly uncomfortable for them.
Armstrong the throw, and intended on the far side for Kemp, and Storm Duck was in coverage for the Tar Heels.
A bit of pressure in the face of, or excuse me, no pressure in the face of Brennan Armstrong, but the throw was just a little bit off on the outside of Billy Kemp. I thought Storm Duck actually was coming out of his break well. I think his foot kind of slipped on him behind there.
Yep. Storm Duck has played well again here today. Mac Brown talked about the stacking of games, if you will, for him the last couple of 3, and that ball on the way to Wilson got deflected. I think Boykins got a hand on it maybe, or did it reach Wilson? Tell you the honest truth is it almost got deflected on to Tony Grimes.
And it's 2 plays back to back where the receivers would have had to have made really good catches. I mean, that would have been a heck of a catch there by Wilson. The one before would have been a heck of a catch by Kemp. Those are sort of the plays that Brennan Armstrong needs his receivers to make. It can't all be on number 5.
3rd and 10, Roddy, and Wood, the tight end, in motion here. Here's Armstrong sailing it again and broken up by Duck on the way to Kemp. And I'm not even sure that Duck wasn't also keeping tabs on Wilson here. Roddy came back to make a play.
Well, this play is made by Storm Duck. He jams up Sean Wilson to the point where Wilson can't get far enough down the field. Wilson takes too long to get in his break. He can't get down the field. Billy Kemp should be one-on-one with the nickel. But because Storm Duck does such a good job on Wilson, he's right there when the ball's thrown, is able to make the play. If Wilson is able to get past Storm Duck or at least get up the field, it's probably a completion.
Here is Daniel Sparks, a Minnesota transfer, to punt it away. And it will skip into the end zone on a hop. So Carolina will bring the ball out to its 20, and time for this week's edition of Westopedia. Roddy, meeting 127 here today. 130 years ago, they started here in Charlottesville. Virginia won 30-18. They played again 28 days later in Atlanta.
Why did they play in Atlanta?
More in a moment. Carolina won 26-0. It so happened that in the 1890s, now remember this is way before the Southern Conference.
I don't remember that.
But in the 1890s, you had the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, made up of all sorts of schools.
Okay.
Everywhere. I mean, it was all over the place. Sewanee, Tennessee, Clemson. So Carolina and Virginia were part of a, if I could say this, college football jamboree.
Okay. We'll bring those back.
Hey, never know in this world we're in right now. There's Downs the catch. Measured to just shy of the first down on the Cohen King stop. In fact, if you dig back, just to finish the thought here, you dig back in the 1890s in November, you'll find that teams would play like 3 games in 5 days. And if you cross-reference them, you find out they all played in like Atlanta, Richmond,
good old days,
Charlotte type things. Here's Elijah Green, first down run for Carolina. Now Tar Heels playing with the 3-point lead late here in the 3rd.
But in those days, they played like 6 games. So they played 3 games in 5 days and were off for like a month? Or to take the train ride probably took them.
You got to remember now, there's part. You got to remember too, seasons oftentimes didn't start till October.
Okay, there you go.
And the coaching histories back then are a little sketchy.
Yeah, well,
had a lot of captains in charge of the teams.
A lot of things a little sketchy back then. The local plumber was also the quarterback.
Here is May, and he fires it, and that's Antoine Green toward the 48. Ahead of the Sanker tackle and a first down. But that's part of the beauty of Carolina, Virginia, is the history of it.
Yeah, and a welcome back to Antoine Green, who I think because of how good these corners are, Anthony Johnson on one side, Fentrell Cypress, whose name we haven't called much at all because he's been so locked down on the other, it's really made Josh Downs the focal point of the passing game today.
Second catch for Antoine Green. Megan Loye, the tackle. Downs is 13. That's a career high catches, and 153, Roddy, after the grab a moment ago.
I have a feeling he's going to get a couple more before this thing is over, too.
Yeah. Here comes May. More option look, and this is Elijah Green. Heck of an effort to make something out of nothing on second down. It's still going to be 3rd and about 5 or 6. James Jackson banged right into Green, and he kept on trucking.
And now Virginia has to summon what they had in the first half. Carolina 2 for 5 in the first half on 3rd downs. They're 3 for 3 so far in the second half.
Green to the boundary, 3 receivers. Now DJ Jones has come out there on the side. He'll take the throw, turn the corner, first down. Jones into Virginia territory, knocked out of bounds around the 33. Got a terrific block by Downs.
I mean, the guy's caught 13 balls today, and he's out there on the perimeter just grinding against Jonas Sanker, fighting, continuing to strain and struggle. John Copenhaver out there too. But how about Josh Downs? I mean, the grittiness that he shows on a play-in, play-out basis as a receiver, sometimes the effort blocking-wise can be up and down. That right there, that's something that you put up as a coach. Your best player grinding it out on a 3rd down to help his teammate.
Tar Heels going to go to the 4th with a 3-point lead on Virginia. The South's oldest rivalry continues. You see if I pour this water, Roddy.
Let's see if we can get you clean enough to get in the car. No, that ain't coming off. It's caked on.
Yeah,
it's caked on.
It's going to be a tough ride home. Welcome to the 4th. Carolina, Virginia, presented by Subway from Charlottesville.
By the way, we have been alerted that the authorities told that kid to stop sliding down the hill, to which I would tell them the damage is already done.
The authorities. May opens the 4th and will throw it beyond the reach of J.J. Jones. And the play was kind of fizzling out, quite frankly, for the Tar Heels as we start quarter 4. You see the total yardage, the passing yardage. Now here comes the running. Look at Carolina's got 141, kind of a secret number given the way Virginia has dictated time of possession, Roddy.
Drake May's got 80 of those 141, and I think Carolina's probably gotten too far away from the run with Elijah Green today. Some of that probably has to do with the way Virginia is aligned, but they've had success there.
Here is May. Going to rip it, and Downs, another catch right on the 1st down number, I believe. Around the 23, Antonio Clary, the tackle for the Wahoos.
To dart by May. This is one of those ball placement things. If he puts that on the other shoulder, Downs can turn, and it was short. Oh, the quarterback sneak.
Carolina had to crack the 23 to get the 1st down. The line judge came in on the hop. And our line judge today, Jim Casey, said that Carolina is short. And the Tar Heels, who on the year are 8 of 10 on 4th down against the ACC, 5 of 7 in their last 3 games, going for it here.
Something that Carolina is known for. This is their first attempt on 4th down today.
May to Green. 1st down, Elijah Green. And it looked like James Jackson almost got Elijah Green.
Elijah Green almost got the end zone too, because I think if James Jackson doesn't make that, you had Anthony Johnson around, but there was a lane there.
3 receivers and a tight end here for Carolina on 1st and 10. May the pump. Now Elijah Green on the perimeter, keeps his feet. 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Carolina with Elijah Green.
The story of Elijah Green is incredible, and it's a story of persistence, of hard work. And the guy's been on scout team this season, and we were told when he got to Carolina couldn't catch a cold in Alaska.
Yeah.
Well, here he catches it out in the flats, speeds up the sideline and gets in the end zone. He has worked tirelessly with the quarterbacks to work on his hands, with the coaches to work on his cuts, and the speed has always been there.
The lead now 10. Almost 2 minutes gone in the final period at Charlottesville. First touchdown catch of the year for Elijah Green. Tar Heels in front. Well, back here in Charlottesville, time for our game refresh brought to you by Subway. Drake May has thrown for 2 and run for another, Roddy, here in the ball game today.
He's been as impressive as he's been all year. And I think this Carolina offense, after having kind of a frustrating first half, being starved of the football, being stopped a couple of times, really responded well in the second.
There'll be no return, I don't believe, by Starling. No, he's now going to bring it out. Demeek Starling will be stopped shy of the 15. Carolina chopped him down with Jake Hargelrode and Randy Caldwell. So Brennan Armstrong coming out, Taylor, and time to go for the Cavaliers.
Yeah, guys, a lot of communication down here on the Virginia sideline. Brennan Armstrong spending time with his receivers, with his line. They really talked about taking what this Tar Heel defense gives them, not forcing anything down here. Brennan told me this week, look, they give a lot of free access. They like to keep things in front. So if they're going to be aggressive, they can do it now.
And here goes Hollins, and he will reach the 22, but a marker thrown in behind the play after about a 7-8 yard run from Mike Hollins. Don Chapman the tackle, and it's on Virginia.
Oh, offense, number 67. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Derek Devine, the right guard, guilty of the hold here for Virginia.
After a good run by Virginia on first down, and even though it's going to come back and be first and let's see where they spot it.
Going to put it at the 8 because it's halfway.
Yeah.
7.5, if you will.
I mean, I still wouldn't be afraid if I was Virginia to run the football on first down. They've had a pretty good success with first down runs, especially on those zone runs.
Armstrong in the gun. Gonna hand it to Hollins again, and Collins stopped back toward the original line, just shy there. Legend Cavazos, one of the better names in the ACC to stop. First guy of many to get there.
Now the pressure really for the first time in this game is on this Virginia offense. They've played on the front foot for the most part, leading most of the game, and even when they were behind by 3, it was still the sense where, hey, if you get a stop, it's back to your turn and you can take the lead. Now they're going to really have to perform with the pressure on.
And Kemp cannot hang on, or did he hold on enough? No, ruled incomplete. DeAndre Boykins raked it out on the way to Billy Kemp. And now all of a sudden, 3rd and long.
You have to have firm control and make a football move. That one's a close one. It's bang, bang. I'm a little surprised they didn't let it play out and they clean it up on the back end. It's probably a good call. There's always a time element associated with it as well that you can only get in real speed. Called incomplete on the field.
Carolina with a dime package in the ball game defensively. Armstrong trying to buy time, now going to be flushed to his left. And Brennan Armstrong will be tackled by Kamen Rucker at the 22-yard line. Jacoby Cowan did a nice job of closing out. Sophomore from Providence Day who transferred from Ohio State to Chapel Hill. And another stop for Chiswick's defense.
And if you look at this this in North Carolina defense over the course of their play, especially in ACC play, if you hit an ACC play only filter and then you hit second halves on the filter, the numbers look pretty good. I mean, this has been a defense that after halftime has performed well in league play. And they're starting to figure out this Virginia offense now.
And Virginia's going to call a timeout here. Tony Elliott hot with his team in the bench area.
I know Tony Elliott's fired up, but this is sort of one of those situations where unless you're going to think about going for it, just take the delay so that you can save that timeout.
So the first-year head coach of the Wahoos not happy. Quick reminder, ACC Fall Championships continue this weekend. Tomorrow, men's soccer quarterfinals start at 2 o'clock Eastern. All matches on the way to the ACC men's soccer title are on ACC Network and the ESPN app, the home of ACC Championships. Busy 72 hours on our network platforms. Full day today, full day tomorrow. And the championships in soccer and other sports. And then Monday, busy opening night of basketball for you on both the men's and women's card.
Basketball starting already?
Monday night, Coach.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Wow.
Means next Friday night we might have to find one in the Triangle area.
I think we'll be able to do that.
Yep. There's a punt away from Sparks. And Downs will signal for it, make the fair catch at the 36. Virginia started 4 of 5 on 3rd down today. They've gone 2 of 6 since and trailed Carolina by 10.
ACC Network Football is presented by Subway. Try the all-new Subway Series menu. Your pick of 12 irresistible subs.
North Carolina 31, Virginia 21 with Roddy Jones, Taylor Davis. Great to have Adam Coppinger, our producer, Brett Lancaster, our director. Terrific ACC Network crew here in Charlottesville for the South's oldest rivalry. Tar Heels from the 36 now with the 10-point lead, Roddy.
And if you're Carolina's offense, it's time for the knockout blow. They have a chance to go up 17 on this Virginia team.
That's Downs in motion. He's got 13 catches today. And here's Elijah Green, and pulled down shy of the first down by Antonio Clary. Elijah Green continuing to add to the total. And Phil Longo trying to run for the first down. It'll be 3rd and 1, I believe. Held up just short by Nick Jackson and Paul Akiri. There's Nick out of the Lovett School in Atlanta.
A couple of Atlanta private school boys involved right there. Elijah Green out of Blessed Trinity.
Yep.
Up in Roswell, Georgia. But
how about Chris Slade, who used to coach at Pace, who's the defensive ends coach now here in Charlottesville. Here is Green trying to pick up the first down and not going to have it. It's 4th down coming, and
the question now is, do you go for it if you're Carolina? Their MO has been to go for it in these situations. The offense is what wins you, and the defense has been playing well. Going with tempo now, getting lined up.
Yep. Virginia has crowded the line.
Plenty of time on the play clock. They want to signal something in.
Phil Longo just went through about 3 or 4 hand signals, and Downs goes to the left. Snap, Green to carry, first down. And if he steps out of that, Roddy, he scores.
He's gone.
Yep.
That's the aggressive nature of Carolina. And there's a lot of talk anytime someone goes for it on 4th down in their own territory about analytics. Phil Longo fired up. That's as much about feel as anything. The book may tell you to go for it. The book, honestly, in that analytics book, it's like, hey, it's up to you sometimes. And I think regardless of what it said, Mac Brown has confidence in that unit.
Drake May off a play fake. Here come the Cavaliers. He tried to flip it to Green, and as much about survival as anything else, because Jack Camper was fighting in traffic to be around the feet of arms of Drake May here.
Yeah, it's good pressure. I think they were trying to take a shot deep. Wes, I want to go back to that conversation on 4th down, because analytics is sort of a buzzword in college football and football in general, and it's not like this stuff is coming out of thin air. I actually like the term evidence, because it's based on years of raw data of what happens after these 4th downs, both on the positive and the negative. Obviously the percentages of you getting it, and Carolina uses the service that customizes it each game.
And that's James Jackson on the sack of May. And I believe that's 4th. It is number 4 today for Virginia.
Jackson's going to come off the left side. He's off the line of scrimmage. There's just nobody there to pick him up. Typically you'd have a back coming, I believe, or a hot off of that. Neither one of those took place, and Drake May ends up getting sacked.
Well, I really like this sophomore linebacker Jackson, Roddy.
Yeah, he's done a nice job this year. Really played well next to the experienced senior Nick Jackson.
6 of 11 is Carolina on 3rd down. Virginia brings 4. Here's Antoine Green spinning, keeping his feet. Green bouncing and will finally be taken down. Anthony Johnson, the shoe top tackle, if you will, at the 47 of Antoine Green. Now, Roddy, let's have another version of the 4th down discussion.
Yeah, so typically 4th and 4 and under, it's an automatic go. At 4th and 6-ish, the question probably falls more on, hey, this is your decision. You look at the 4th down numbers of Drake May, he's been fantastic. And Carolina this year has scored 84 points on drives that involved a 4th down conversion. That's 10 points a game that they would otherwise just be kicking to the other team. Now, they very well may do it here. as they're letting the play clock run down.
Yep, they're going to let it expire, and that will give them. Tony Elliott may decline this. We'll see how this all plays out.
They should decline it.
The gamesmanship
But
deal.
I think the reason that this one's different is because of the distance and the percent chance of getting it at this distance probably isn't worth it for Carolina.
All right, don't forget, coming up next, Chris Cotter, Mark Herzlich standing by to lead our coverage from Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh. Sean Tucker and Israel Abanikanda take center stage as Syracuse and Pitt meet. And then ACC primetime football tonight from Raleigh. Dave O'Brien, Tim Hasselbeck, Kelsey Riggs, number 21 Wake Forest, and number 22 NC State under the lights at Carter Finley. ACC huddle on site as well for your pre and post game coverage tonight from Raleigh. And that ball will skip into the end zone on one bounce from the foot of Ben Kiernan. 7.5 to play. Final period in Charlottesville. 10-point lead for Carolina. Lead for Carolina. Virginia's got the ball. Taylor, by the way, we're now in the midst of a Hall of Famer. How about this? Thursday night in Atlanta, Roddy Jones inducted into the Chamblee High School Hall of Fame. There's Big Rod, by the way.
Yeah, with the bow tie.
The big man wearing the gold bow tie. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was quite the honor. Chamblee High School has meant a lot to me. And so it was a nice event. It was very cool.
So TD, when we get into the final half of the season, it's Roddy Jones Hall of Famer. Okay.
I don't know if my head's gonna be able to fit in the rental car. You keep calling me that.
And we get a procedure penalty on the Cavaliers here.
All-star offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty, second down.
That's a cool moment.
No wonder no one would tell me what we were doing coming out of the break.
Taylor, what?
I've always known we were in the presence of greatness. Now it's just official, you know?
There you go. See?
Well,
Proud of you, Roddy.
thank you. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
It's a great moment.
It was very cool, and it was a great event with some really accomplished people, and then me.
Yeah.
So
right.
humble.
There's a long throw. Wilson, who started the ball game as a primary target, was Sackett Wood for Brennan Armstrong. Picks up 12 there. And a first down.
Just the fourth completion of the second half for Brennan Armstrong. It's a really good pass from the far hash to the field, right there on the sideline, and a good route by Wilson.
Here is Armstrong rolling right. Now he's just going to throw it over the head of Brown because DeAndre Boykins had dropped into coverage for Carolina. Okay, Roddy, you gave me some numbers here about Gene Chizik and defense in the second half of the ACC. What have you seen here in the second half to kind of take Virginia off point a little bit?
Well, Brennan Armstrong hasn't been nearly as effective with his legs, I think, first and foremost. And they've done a better job stopping the few runs that Virginia's gone to. They've also done a pretty good job of having Virginia play behind the sticks. That, a zone run, I mean, Virginia dashed them on those on first and second down in the first half, which kept them on schedule. They've been better at forcing third and longs and in these situations, not letting Brennan Armstrong convert.
Yeah, Kevin Hester the stop there, so it's third and almost the full 10. Armstrong on a straight drop. Jabari Ritchie was pressuring, and the throw off line for Wilson with Duck in coverage. So the Cavaliers here, they're going to punt. There's Gene Chizik through the traffic here at Scott Stadium in the press box down to our right. Third straight punt for Virginia. And Roddy, Cavaliers got a touchdown on their opening possession with the 1-yard run by Ronnie Walker after the great play by Wood. And ever since then, they've been stacked up.
They have. They have not been as effective on a consistent basis on first and second down. And then on third downs, I mean, on that last play, Carolina had 2 spies for Brennan Armstrong just kind of hanging out, waiting for him to run.
And Tony Elliott, that's a timeout because Virginia was running out of time.
That's another one.
Yeah.
It's your third timeout.
Virginia, the third and final timeout.
This isn't just Tony Elliott. You see coaches do this all the time. And you know, I feel like the value of those 5 yards versus the value of the timeout, you'd much rather have the timeout, because if you get a turnover here, let's say, and you're able to put the ball in the end zone, you're going to want that timeout later on, especially when it's your last one.
Cavaliers, by the way, have Coastal Carolina and Pittsburgh remaining here at home. Pitt is high noon next week. Coastal Carolina, Jamie Chadwell's team out of the Sun Belt.
Leading the Sun Belt East.
I'm just going to say this. That was scheduled back before Coastal Carolina was Coastal Carolina's, my guess.
This ACC team should put a clause in there. If you end up getting good before we play the game, I don't want it anymore.
Well, here's Downs on the punt return. 2 guys have missed. Now Josh reroutes middle of the field. Look out. 40, 45. Downs loose. Far sideline, and the punter Sparks saves the touchdown. Downs had a terrific return last week of 23 yards. He just went 37.
But you mentioned the number of returns that he had this year. 4 punt returns coming into the game, because people don't want that to happen. But Josh Downs with the big punt return gets Carolina in great field position here in the 4th quarter.
You're better off kicking it to Culpepper than kicking it to Downs. Back after this. Well, Drake May and the Tar Heels, their best starting position for a drive today after Josh Downs' 37-yard punt return. So Carolina to work at the Virginia 37.
You see the stats for Drake May. The first half, it was a little up and down. The second half, Drake was like, show me a good time.
Oh, no. Here is May. Quick throw behind Jones, incomplete. So you start that, and all of a sudden there's an incomplete pass.
I know.
I will say this, though. You're working the open today. Taylor pinpointed it. Some of your best.
I appreciate that
as an analyst.
It took me a week to come up with. I had a lot of time, a lot of input. When I wasn't listening to Taylor Swift this week, it was a lot of Drake.
Oh, my goodness. 2nd and 10 for May and the Tar Heels. Trying to, by the way, win a 5th road game, and here is Elijah Green spinning for about 3 or 4. And if they win today and lead by 10, of course, here with under 6 to go, it'll be the best road winning mark. 5 road wins has not been achieved since 1997.
And it sets up a game next week that is, especially if the Deacons are able to pull it out tonight, that is just massive. Converting this 3rd down to go a long way towards getting there.
Yep. Here is May. And this is Elijah Green bouncing through, and Carolina now going to have about 4th and 2.5. Roddy, maybe 3. It's beyond potentially Burnett's range. He hit a 47-yarder earlier this year off the turf at Boone in the Appalachian State Score-a-thon. So now here's the book again. Mac Brown with Sparky Woods, his senior advisor, who sometimes folks see over there with this little binder in his hand, and there it is right there.
I think the binder's going to be all green on this one. That factors in time of the time in the game, score, position on the field, and also Drake May's there.
Here's Elijah Green, won't get it. Tripped up, Cohen King came racing around off the edge, and Carolina will cash it out on downs.
I would have loved to have seen the ball in Drake May's hands in that situation. I mean, Josh Downs has been fantastic today. And as good as the offensive line has been, Virginia has to sell out to stop the run.
Right.
So they bring pressure off both edges. You got Cohen King diving in the backfield. And now the important thing,
Virginia can't wait.
Virginia doesn't have any timeouts.
That's it. Yep.
So not only are they going to have to go with some alacrity, but they're going to have to be efficient as well.
Here is Armstrong looking to make the quick throw. That's Sackett Wood, the tight end. And he'll pick up the 1st down. The clock will stop. They'll move the chains. 4:17 to play.
Coach used to call this. He used to call this fast, but not in a hurry. You want to be fast, doing everything up to the line of scrimmage and deliver it. Wow.
Billy Kemp caught one in the door jam.
They're going to call it incomplete.
Billy Kemp with DeAndre Boykins and Cameron Kelly.
Kelly goes straight for the football.
Yeah. I think they're going to check on this, or official timeout for Billy Kemp, who's, tell you what, and you can tell the look on Ford's face. It's been such a tough year for Billy Kemp, right?
Yeah, it has been.
He came into the ball game with 10 catches. Folks, a year ago, he'd add 10 catches in the game. I mean, so Billy Kemp, who you might have been able to see, was telling folks in the bench area, I caught the pass, and now Marcus Woods and the replay folks are going to have a look as well.
There's nothing you can tell from that angle other than Cameron Kelly made Billy Kemp pay for it on the back end. We kind of went through this earlier, indisputable video evidence. You and I won't speak for you. I was off on the last one, the second Wood dive into the end zone.
Right. I was with you. I thought he was in. I mean, I didn't think there was enough to overturn it. Yeah. But
this will probably be our best view if the linemen don't get in the way. Yeah, that ball is dislodged by the ground. It hits the ground, comes out, obviously moves. So I would imagine that this one would stand. Although 0 for 1 on the day. My confidence is a bit shaken there, Wes.
Yep.
Yeah, you can see the ball, it hits when he rolls over. If that ball sticks to him when he rolls over, it may be called a catch, but I think when you see it roll over and it's bobbling around, it does not complete the act of the catch when he goes to the ground, in my opinion.
Yep. By the way, while we've got a break here, how about congratulations to Mike Elko and Duke last night?
Oh, eligible. I mean, what a job he's done.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Second down.
Duke beating BC last night 38-31. Jaquez Moore, a couple of touchdowns, by the way, for the Blue Devils at Chestnut Hill. BC's in Raleigh next Saturday.
That'll be a fun one.
Yeah, Roddy Taylor and I will be at Carter Finley. Looking forward to it. Here's Armstrong doing to take the shot for Starling, and he catches it in stride and steps out of bounds inside the 20. Demick Starling got behind, Storm duck. Cavaliers talk about his speed, and you see it here.
What a perfect pass by Brennan Armstrong. I mean, it doesn't get any prettier than this. Right in the receiver's hands as he extends. Virginia's making this interesting.
Armstrong throwing for the end zone, incomplete. Sackett Wood, intended receiver. Cedric Gray was bodying him all the way down the hash. So now 2nd and 10, and Virginia's got to put the ball in the air because of the clock, too.
Right, and it's a good job by the officials letting that play out because the contact came before the ball was in the air. And when Cedric Gray saw it, turns, plays the football. It's a good no call by the officials.
Brown in the backfield with Armstrong, who's got a 2-by-2 look. Armstrong readies, throws, and incomplete, trying to get it to Davies. Ethan Davies, the 5'10" sophomore from Fairfax.
There's been a couple of these today where the ball's just a little off. The receivers would have had to make acrobatic catches. Just haven't been able to haul it in. That one I don't put on the receivers. I mean, you're asking a lot of your receivers when the ball's there, but I mean, how different could the game have been if you make one of those catches that are extremely, extremely tough?
For Roddy Cavalier fans probably thinking a lot about this fall in that light, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Here is 3rd and 10. Armstrong to the left side, and it's caught. Billy Kemp. 1st and goal, Virginia. DeAndre Boykins the tackle. It's an 11-yard throw.
The toughness by Billy Kemp. I mean, every time he gets up, he's limping around. You can tell he's not 100%, but they're so banged up, they need him to be that spark.
Here is Armstrong on 1st and goal with time. Now going to run with it, try and get to the pylon, and does. Touchdown.
That's a heck of a drive by Virginia. The throw down the field by Brennan Armstrong to Demick Starling, and then this one, everything's covered down the field. The pass rush can't get there, but they hesitate for a half second. Brennan Armstrong gets into the open field, and was there any question what was going to happen at the goal line? The guy was going to bury his head and try and get in, and you were going to have to take it from him if you were going to keep him out.
And the point after by Betteridge, and it's back to a 3-point game with 3:24 to go. Second rushing score of the day for Armstrong.
Competitive stamina is something that Tony Elliott repeated to us over and over in his press conferences this week, in us in our meetings, to Taylor at halftime. That's competitive stamina. Grinding, struggling, straining every ounce of the game until the game is over. Brennan Armstrong embodies it, and his buy-in has been impressive over the course of this year. And look, I don't think it can be overlooked that you have Lavelle Davis, Dontavian Wicks, and Keaton Thompson out. And they've still been able to do this. And to be honest, in a lot of ways, the energy around this offense, because of those young players replacing them, has been significant.
Virginia out of timeouts. It's an onside kick now for the Cavaliers. And you're almost left with no choice with 3:24 to go. Well, Carolina has 2 timeouts. Virginia can't stop the clock on defense.
You're not playing field position in this scenario. You are playing to have the most opportunities to get the ball back. So if you kick it deep, you can stop them. That's your opportunity, or create a turnover. Here, you get an opportunity onside kick, or you can stop and create a turnover. See if Carolina calls a timeout once they get a look at Virginia's alignment.
Brendan Farrell is going to try and dribble it along the ground, and it'll take a hop, and there it is. Antoine Green's got it. He will go down. There's a marker down. And we'll see if somebody was offside here.
And this was a learning experience for North Carolina, because in the App State game,
you're talking about the Bryson Nesbitt play.
Offside. Kicking team number 8. The 5-yard penalty is added to the end of the play. First down, North Carolina.
So in the App State game, it's an onside kick scenario, very similar. Bryson Nesbitt gets it, returns it for a touchdown, but what does that do? It gives App State the ball back.
Correct.
The most important thing in this situation is the ball. And so Antoine Green wisely goes down so that Carolina can run out the clock rather than going and getting either a quick score, or getting a quick score, giving the ball back to Virginia, where they would then have an opportunity to score with another onside kick. So very smart by Antoine Green.
Carolina, with Virginia out of timeouts, needs at least 1 first down to finish the ball game.
You're Virginia, all's not lost now. You get a stop here, and you can make it interesting if you force a field goal.
And here is Elijah Green straight ahead, and he will pick up 4 to the 19. 3:07 to go. Time for our Sport Clips MVP. And number 11 in the white is our guy, Roddy.
It was a democratic process through which this was decided. Josh Downs got all of the votes. 14 receptions, 162 yards on 15 targets. He's been fantastic. And there's the touchdown pass, Jonas Sanker. Threw some blocks on the perimeter as well.
Here goes Elijah Green. It'll be 3rd and short after another carry by Green. So Josh Downs, who is, at least for the time being, 2 shy of the North Carolina school record, which is 16. Most recently by Ryan Switzer against Pittsburgh. There you go. 2016.
And this is the game right here for Virginia. You've got a 3rd and 3, I think they're calling it. It's more like a 3rd and 2. You can stop Carolina here.
May, quick shot, and it is caught. First down at the 11-yard line. And that is Downs' 15th catch of the day.
That should have been I thought one of the offensive linemen may have moved prior to that ball being snapped. It was sort of awkward the way it happened. You had movement and then a motion.
Right.
That guy's being said. I mean, it might have been a penalty on Carolina.
Victory formation inside 90 seconds for the Tar Heels. And a flag has been thrown on the play, which will stop the clock. Marcus Wood and his group going to have to sort this out. Going down the stretch.
Outside, defense, number 94. 5-yard penalty, first down. The foul is subject to a 10-second subtraction. Please set the game clock to 1:16, and it will start on my signal.
This is that third down play. You get movement. Everyone has to be set. Yeah, I don't think everybody was set for a second when you get that many guys moving around. Right. That probably should have been a penalty for illegal shift on a crucial third down for Carolina. Not called, obviously, and it's a good job by Drake May. I mean, that play was all kinds of discombobulated.
Yep.
To deliver it to Josh Downs, good catch by Downs, and Carolina's going to sneak out of here with a win.
Yep. And Roddy, guess what? The South's oldest rivalry delivers again, because for the 48th time in the rivalry, it's been decided by 7 or less. Out of 127 meetings, 48 times it's 7 or less. It's nearly 39%, by the way. And
personal foul, defense, number 82. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
So that'll be ticketed to Cam Butler, who apparently just rolled into the Carolina front there. Well, Virginia,
defensive guys would do that when we were trying to kneel the ball out.
Virginia is going to get Pittsburgh here next Saturday. Carolina's to Winston-Salem, Roddy, as you noted a moment ago, to see Wake Forest. Tar Heels will try to win for a 6th straight time on the road this year.
It was sort of the Achilles heel of this team a year ago.
Yep.
Mac Brown focused on it so much in the offseason. And it's paid dividends, getting those couple wins on the road early. App State, Georgia State, games where they had to fight, strain. I feel like
Virginia, in fact, Cavaliers are making a change here. They're going to pull Butler out of the lineup and bring Akire in.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense, number 19. Half the distance to goal. Automatic first down. This is number 19's first unsportsmanlike conduct of a foul. The clock was running under 1 minute. This is subject to a 10-second subtraction. Please set the game clock to 29 seconds and start on my signal.
Well, this will do it. One snap and we're finished here in Charlottesville.
Plus, you know, Carolina takes some interest in some things outside of the stadium. They do not, but on the doorstep with some things still on the line.
Carolina goes to 8-1, 5-0 in the ACC, and 5 road wins for Mac Brown and the Tar Heels for the first time since his last stint in Chapel Hill, 1997.
A couple of really gritty wins on the road for this Carolina team this season, this being added to it, and gritty wins the last few weeks for Carolina. The Pittsburgh game at home was a physical football game where I think they learned something about themselves, and this Virginia team gave it all. I think Tony Elliott's going to be very pleased with his team's performance, but how about Drake May telling Brennan Armstrong to take care? He was fantastic today, as always. Over 300 yards of total offense. He had 74 yards rushing, had a 293 on the ground. Just continues to impress.
Yep, Drake May threw for 2 in the second half, ran for 1 in the first half. Carolina gets a little tighter grip on the Coastal Division, Roddy.
They can lock it up next week.
Yep.
Win or a Duke loss. clinch the Coastal Division. I think. I don't know what all the scenarios are after that, but let me tell you, as far as it goes for me, they'll clinch.
Well, Tony Elliott and his team will fall to 3-6, 1-5 in the ACC, with Pitt visiting here next Saturday. Of course, the Panthers trying to snap a 2-game skid coming up here at the bottom of the hour with Syracuse at Acrisure Stadium.
And how about Josh Downs? I mean, in this game, 15 catches, 166 yards. That on top of what he did last year against this team. 8 catches for 208, 2 scores. You see those standings now. Carolina already has wins over Duke and Miami. Still Georgia Tech to play. They've got a win over Pitt, so they would have the tiebreakers in all of those scenarios. Impressive as they've been.
Let's go downstairs. Taylor's with Coach Brown.
All right, Coach. Well, they challenged you down there to the end, but you told me at halftime we were fine. We had to start out strong, and you did that. How'd your team set the tone for the second half?
Well, these are resilient kids, and they've gotten used to winning. First time we've won 5 consecutive games on the road since 1997. I said most of them weren't alive, and they laughed, said none of us were, Coach. So really great effort by Virginia. Tony had them ready. They're getting better each week. But proud of our guys. We didn't play a good first half. We played better the second half. Defense stepped up a few times. Disappointed the offense didn't put the game away. We're out there twice, and we seem to be wanting to keep ratings for TV, and we did, but very, very proud of these young people.
Well, hey, we'll take the ratings, but you said your team is, learning how to win. So is your young quarterback, Drake May. I talk to you about him quite often, but what he's doing is incredible. Talk about the composure he has, even in games like this.
Yeah, he's so competitive. He's confident, and he's competitive, and he's composed, and it's a great trait, especially for a young quarterback, because he's above his years right now, and he's playing beyond his years, and he never gets down. He gets frustrated with himself, but he never gets down on his team, and he always picks them up and gives us a chance to win.
Well, you've got another tough test. I know they're all tough, but you head to Winston-Salem for a big one next week. What will you be taking from today?
This will be good for us because it wasn't easy. And it was a hard win on the road, 5 in a row. We got to go 6 in a row against a top 25 team in Wake Forest. It's very good and got one of the best quarterbacks in the country. We've had great games with them the 3 times we've played, so it should be really exciting in Winston-Salem. Great and fun challenge for us.
Looking forward to it. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you, Taylor.
All right, Taylor, thanks. Thanks to Mac Brown. 31-28 the final. North Carolina winner in the South's oldest rivalry. Great to spend Saturdays with Roddy Jones, Taylor Davis, our producer Adam Coppinger, our director Brett Lancaster, Wes Durham from Charlottesville. Stay tuned. ACC Huddle on the other side.